Hello, good people. Good afternoon to every one of you out there. It's good to see you, have you back this beautiful new year 2026. I pray that it's well with you where you are watching us from. Today, we're going to have just a very simple discussion, simple but deep discussion, and it's going to center on the outrage that is, going on right now in Nigeria concerning the state of the roads in Nigeria. Of course, you all know that the state of Nigeria have become so deplorable that it's now the talk of the states or the nations of the earth. In fact, some people don't understand. As when we say the road in Nigeria is bad, it's so bad that statistics show that they are the worst accidents around the globe happens in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria is the place where driving is so risky that anything can happen to you. So, is it that Anthony Joshua, which we are going to anchor our discussion on, is a special individual, therefore, it now bringing to the fore of the issues in Nigeria? The answer is no. But we are using him now to discuss what we have all failed to discuss for many years, which is the state of the Nigerian road. The state of Nigerian road becomes so bad that a journey of 1 hour can take as much as 3 to 5 hours, and we are busy building more roads. I would have thought that a nation who is very serious about having, who concerned about the well-being of his people, will actually be interested in solving the road issues, the issue of security or otherwise along the road. Road itself is a means of employment for people, for a lot of people. In other parts of the world, road transportation constitutes a major income for the people of that nation, especially where the road is well organized and transportation is safe and accommodation is made along the expressway, where to rest, where to eat, where to use the bathroom, where to just even look at the nature, the beauty of the country in which you live. In other climes, these are things that are done, it's part of, tourism and sightseeing. People in other nations, especially the US and other major countries around the world, even Africa. I myself have taken a trip from Nigeria to Ghana by road just to enjoy the scenery that is along that road. And some of the pictures that I took along that road, till today, blows my mind. Because if you are going to travel through the roads through Lagos to Port Novo, you will see to a point where you get to the road, the ocean is actually side on every side, and just a narrow part of the road is passing you through. It was frightening for me, but also very pleasurable. Why was it frightening for me? Because I'm an Igbo man. I don't know how to swim. There's no river around my place. And basically, that was why it was frightening. But it was pleasurable because it's a sight to behold. You see the beauty that God has put in his creation. You see the authority that God has put in his creation, that both ocean will not mix together. But that tiny road that the vehicle was traveling in or on was what keep you looking at it. Or along that journey also, I discovered there's a tribe that actually builds their own houses, just like we have in Morocco. But this time is so clean, is hand woven, with grasses, and their hotels and their villages that live in those locations. It's so beautiful. I wish I could find the pictures on my drive while this program is going on to show you some of those things. So in other clients, these are beautiful practices that are used to develop the people. These are things that people take as pleasure, but young men take it as occupation. You get to those locations, those countries, you contact the young men, young women who are there, and they, in turn, take you through the process of getting you to see, of getting you to know. They tell you the stories of those communities that you pass through. They tell you the stories of the country itself. They sell their country really by just having such encounter with you, and you go back feeling very happy, But again, people have made money from you. The country is safer because people are happy. But today, nobody's talking about tourism in Nigeria, let alone think of how to better the roads that we have. It's a sad thing to say. Lagos being a major destination in the world, whether anybody likes it or not, still have, roads that can be described nothing but like a death traps. Death traps out there. Death trap that people cannot be sure they will start and finish. And we're not saying that accidents do not occur on other parts of the nations of the earth. We are saying that what is controllable is also taken care of by men. I don't know if I can find it. I did take videos of certain roads that I see in America. And even though they are rural roads, they are well constructed. They are guarded. They are guardrails that are, by the deep part of the road. There's the undulating and I've forgotten the geography term now. The different sceneries that you pass are guided so that your car don't slip off. There are even cautions that are built into roads in certain parts of the world, and especially in America, where the road warns you when you're skidding off, assuming you are sleeping, and you begin to go off your lane into maybe the side of the road. Even sometimes you even have it on the middle of the road if you are going to sleep, trying to move into the next lane. Those things warn you because it triggers it's like a grid. The grid hits your tire and it goes boo, 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 boo. That no matter how deep you are in the sleep, you wake up immediately and take control of your vehicle. The question be, how is it that people in Nigeria do not think that the life of a Nigerian is worth taking those precautions? Is it that the people in Nigeria or the government in Nigeria does not know that life is sacrosanct? Nothing compared to it. We are human beings. The only thing that makes us good, the only thing that keeps us going, the only thing that is good that we know is that once you lose the breath God has given you, there is no amount of magic that can bring the person back. So that life, that's only one that we have, must be guided. We look into what happened in the case of Joshua. This is a superstar, no matter how you look at it. Very important. He has been one of the consistent people who have constantly put Nigeria on the map when it comes to boxing. He has worn the Nigerian flag proudly. He has gone, whether he was defeated or won, he has always upheld his country. He could have spent his holidays in any part of the world if he wanted, but he chose to come to Lagos, the melting hub of Africa, if you permit me to say. He chose to come, even though I don't like the term dirty December. We could have given it a better name than dirty December. What about good December? What about bright December? What about splendor December? What about delightful December? Why does it have to be dirty December? Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. But on this case, he came with his trainers and friends who have been working with him since 2017 or thereabout. And these young men are also Nigerians, both of them Yorubas. They could have chosen not to come because there are other destinations that offer much better attraction than Lagos will offer. But for the citizen, for patriotism and their love for country, they came. And now they aren't going back because of what is avoidable. In other clients where things move, when a vehicle is broken down at a strategic location, the police immediately move to those locations and cordon off that place so that people don't run into those vehicles. And those police people are going to be there until that vehicle is moved out of harm's way. We have road safety, so this is not even a question of government not doing what it should do. Government has its part, but there's an agency in Nigeria called the Road Safety Corps. The road safety, one of its, instead of going to be looking for drivers with seat belts, I think one of the functions is to be on places in different locations where there's prone to be a mishap, where such vehicles break down. There's no caution. Instead of looking for how people should, what's that new law they're trying to introduce now? You should look for people to get a C caution, to put at distance when their vehicle breaks down and there's nothing they can do. There are simple lighting techniques that they can put on the road that can help drivers coming to see that there's a broken down vehicle somewhere. These are things that do not cost much, yet we lose lives because of such. We have lost two great young men, whether you like it or not. These guys have been part of the success of Anthony Joshua. How do you think Anthony Joshua is going to feel the rest of his life? Each time he sees their pictures, each time he watches his videos, each time, when the families of those people meet with him, the guilt that he's going to have, that if he didn't persuade them to come to Nigeria, perhaps they say we are alive today. Well, if you are in the comment section, I will invite you right away to please come in and let's talk about this. Whilst we talk about this, we'll also look at other ongoing issues that is right now going on in Nigeria. But our major focus is going to be on the wasteful carnage that is going on in Nigeria. I'm not sure that any serious nation will continuously to have this kind of thing go on and they will not do anything about it. The question is, what are we waiting for? Are we waiting for the day that a whole community will be wiped out on our highways and byways before we do something about it? The most painful part is that one government individual pockets the amount of money that can be used to treat all this nonsense on the highway, and nothing happens. And Nigerians, I must say, we are the most docile. We are the most docile political, unconscious people around the world. Not because we're not completely conscious, but our ability to put ourselves together and go against a government that I refuse to serve the people. It beholds me why we won't do that. If you know that a government you have elected is not doing what it should do, why is it that we find it difficult to march out against such a group of people and tell them, brother, you are not doing what you're supposed to do. Sister, this is not why we elected you. Now, it was just a sheer providence of goodwill that Anthony Joseph survived. He could have been among the dead. And then, what do we say? We remember many years ago when we were still kids in primary school. Woke up one day, one of Nigerian top athletes was shot by police at a roadblock, and that was the end of that young man. I don't even know what came out of it, because at that time we were not politically conscious. We were still very, young people in primary school. But because we had means of newspapers and all the rest, we were able to read about that. I'm trying to remember his name. This is somebody who also, he was killed by the police. The question being, what are we going to do? Do we continue to play docility Or do we now take the bulls by the horn and face the consequence? That's why we all should be asking ourselves, because we are all just one minute away from this kind of disaster. The disaster that happened, even to remove him from the place was a problem. They were pulling his hand, pulling his leg. Which one do you know that has not been affected by the accident that they are pulling? No ambulance, nothing. Some few days ago, some young men roasted in Lagos in the great building, great Nigerian house, and for many days that house was on fire. People were trapped, shouting from it. When shall we come to be humans and treat one another as human beings? That's a question I'll leave for my panelists to come in and talk about. And I have with me the great Okpara. And the great Okpara, you are welcome. Mazi Okpara. And I have Tony, who is also here. Yes, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us. I hope your day is going well. Happy New Year. And good to see all of you. Yes, we have struck off this discussion, and I've tried to lay a monologue that as much as I would want it. But the other thing I'm not going to touch, which I will eventually introduce, is the level of how much accident that happened in Nigeria. You guys be amazed when I give you this data that I have in my hands. But let me hear your opening remark, Mazi Okpara.
Yeah, KJ, Happy New Year from here. And my brother Anthony, Happy New Year from here. I pray that this year is gonna be a wonderful and a gracious one for us.
Amen.
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 Yeah. Tony, I saw what you wrote. That one that ended just a few minutes ago. Tony, I saw what you wrote there. Yeah. Tony, and I enjoyed you yesterday too. At that our sisters, this thing, you are awesome. I do listen to that place too. No. So
Thank
my
you.
brother, honestly, Anthony Joshua was a very lucky person to come out from that horrible accident alive. I'm telling you, I think he's the most luckiest person ever to survive such carnage. And then looking at how he was pulled out from that wreckage. That is even the worst thing ever to happen to an accident victim. It was appalling. It was eyesore. It was horrible for a country like Nigeria. That such person, or even let's say any person who survived such accident, could be pulled away from that wreckage, that manner, that way. When you watched it, and anyway, it has gone viral, and the world is laughing at us as the giant of Africa, the most populous African nation in the world, the largest economy in Africa, and all those small things we have known is very, very pity. For example, you talk about parking those trailers on the way. My brother, I think if you have traveled, you have been to Nigeria, you are a Nigerian too. The way those things are packed along the highways, both sides. In fact, it's only God that 7 people who ply those roads in the night, even in the afternoon, because I think that happened in the afternoon. Nigerian roads are so narrow. Then you see a truck parked on the both sides. Very heavy trucks. They park there day and night, week and week, months and months, and the police is not The police is not doing anything. The road safety is not, doing anything. Even sometimes they will go there and take money from those, truck drivers and leave them alone. It is absurd. It is just death traps everywhere. Not only even on the highways. Look at even the streets. If you go to look at that Apapa Oshoda Apapa Road to Wharf, look at the way trucks are parked everywhere. Narrowing the whole roads. And government does nothing. It doesn't concern them. You spoke about that burning. In fact, the worst part of it is that Nigerian house that is still burning as we speak. 5-7 days, a week, people were trapped under. People were crying. 3 siblings from the same mother, from the same father, they were asking for help. There was no help. The fire service were not there. Police were not there. Paramedics were not there. Where is our humanity? When you watch those things and you ask yourself, is it not just very, very risky to go to that country anymore? You ask yourself, why should I go to this country? It was today that even the governor is visited that site. 7 days. 7 days. My brother, is a pity. Let me stop here for the moment.
Thank you so much. It is sad, and sometimes we begin to wonder whether these are not human beings. Mr. Tony, good to see you.
Greetings, KJ. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mazopara. How is Germany? And greetings to our viewers. Happy New Year too. KJ, this topic that you put out is one that is very pathetic. First of all, condolences to the families and friends of Joshua's friends who lost their lives in that ghastly accident. And thank God that AJ, had some speedy recovery. But that said, it's a nightmare really driving on Nigerian roads. It's a nightmare from very basic things to best practices that you would expect. Things like signages, to help you, to direct you, to show you areas that are bad. Things that you find in developed climes. Some of them, even when they are put there, people remove them, particularly when they are steel types and go and sell. There are quite a lot of reasons that some government fault, some just our attitude of road users and so on and so forth. But I tried to put down a couple of things. First of all, one of the problems that we have is inability to manage our roads, starting first of all from the design and construction, the materials that you use, quality control, supervision, and so on and so forth. For various terrains that you have, there are different types of approaches and designs that you can use to make a road. The kind of materials you're going to use to construct a road, for instance, in Bayelsa, most of Bayelsa, it's not the same thing you're going to use in places that are solid. And this whole idea of trying to cut corners, no proper supervision in terms of the materials that you use, and in terms of the design, ensuring that appropriate measures are taken to give spaces, for pedestrian, ways, for drainages, for electricity, and even setbacks. that you have to put so that if you need to expand the roads later on, and then even ensuring that you have proper physical planning measures so that you don't have people encroaching and having their houses demolished maybe 10, 20 years after. Some of those things are not taken into consideration. And roads have their lifespan. You don't just build a road roads have their lifespan within which once it expires, it begins to fail. Maintenance culture is not good. There are ways that are restricted. There are roads that are built for very light traffic, and they cannot carry these heavy trucks. If you look at the River Niger, for instance, the Niger Bridge, the first Niger Bridge, you will see that at some point, when that bridge was designed so many years ago, when it was built so many years ago, it was not intended that it will have vehicles stay on the bridge, on that spot, stationary on that spot because of traffic problems for as long as they are staying now. When you have that repeatedly over and over again, it's going to affect the integrity of the bridge. And then gradually you begin to find that you stress the bridge out as it is now. In fact, that was one of the reasons why it became imperative for us to have a second Niger bridge. So that eventually when they want to fix that bridge, the first one, you can shut this one. Because if we didn't have the second Niger bridge, there's no way you're going to fix the first Niger bridge. You're going to cause a major dislocation. So now it's possible for you to shut it for a while and fix it. And then people can, it will still cause some inconvenience, but it won't not as much as it would have if you had to shut the entire thing, because that's a major artery, from the north, southwest, west, south, down across. It is a trans Atlantic, if you like, trans-Sahara, trans-whatever highway, So you also have overuse of our road networks. Like here, where I am, most of the traffic is being done by rail, either light rail, and so on and so forth. Or, you move people mass and goods by rail, not so much by road. So we don't have such regulations and such enforcement, design flaws, some proper maintenance, and then sometimes internet penetration in Nigeria is still not what it should be, because there are transactions that you can do without going to the road. You can just communicate and do your transaction, but you find a situation where most people want to be on the road, so that adds another pressure, to that lack of maintenance culture. There's so many things that you can talk about. Use of technology. We need more roads. In some places you find out that they're still using the roads that were constructed during the colonial era, and then this attitude of labeling trunk A, trunk B, trunk C, and so on and so forth. For instance, in my place, the major road that links my town, to the east, has collapsed, and the state government can't do anything about it because they tell you it's a federal road. This thing, though, there's a reason why these things are done, but the fact that sometimes if you go and maintain those federal roads, you don't get money. The states don't get money. They don't get reimbursement. So it's easy for them to put sign notice to say, "I'm sorry, this is a federal road. There's nothing we can do," and lives are being lost, which is terrible. So there are quite a lot of, and then of course you have corruption, because monies that are earmarked for roads, are diverted for some other things they never used. So and then common things like lights to illuminate roads and so on, terrible. And then you want to blame also the enforcement people, road safety and so on and so forth. A lot of them are not doing their job. So you have cars that should be removed or towed immediately. In this, there's so much that we can do with technology. With the MET people, they can tell you this road is this road is busy, you can take that diversion or so on and so forth. We see these things in developed countries. Don't go through that road, so you can see, it helps you, to navigate through some of those challenges that we're having. And then, you talk about strict regulation, enforcement of regulations. So there are quite a lot, if you begin to interrogate them, I'm not sure we'll be able to finish all those things. And I think these are some of the problems that we have. Even our own attitude
All right.
to how we use roads. They all complicate the problem. And that's that.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you. And I think you've enumerated almost everything, but we'll still interrogate some part of what's going on in Nigeria. I see stay humble. You are very humbly welcome. I see electricity. Okay, these are great men on this panel today. We're going to have a good time because these guys come with sometimes I ask myself, how do people manage to, because I think I have covered all the area, but when you guys speak, I see new areas I didn't even think about, just like what Tony and Mazokpara have done. So let's hear from you, electricity. I'm sorry, stay humble before it comes to electricity. I'm sure again you're going to raise some other angles that I never even thought about. But let's hear from you, sir. Happy New Year, by the way. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen.
This new year.
I'll
Good evening.
be with you just give me about 5 minutes. I'll be with you in 5 minutes, please. I'm just on the call. I'll be with you in 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem. Let's hear from Stay Humble.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I don't know what time is it. It is in the US, but here now, here in the UK it's night. It's to 9 p.m. I'm really very glad to see you all again. I was looking for a live session on Dr. Damage's show, and I saw something like Ijo, whatever, Calabari, this and that. Being this, but I wouldn't really join that because I was looking for something a little bit different from what we've been discussing in the past. And then when I saw that this show had started, I was glad. I must appreciate the previous contributors. They really dissected the issues. In fact, their discussions were quite robust about the issues of Nigeria. If you know that when you are talking about Nigeria, every day a new problem crops up. Before you finish one, another one is before you. So it's really difficult to coordinate everything about Nigeria. Yeah, but this used to be one of those very common topics that one could get in an essay those days in secondary school. Maybe senior secondary school, write an essay on this agriculture, roads, what have you. When things were still a bit good. For this generation, I don't know whether they still write all those things. Yeah, then you would be expected to immediately synthesize, your thoughts and put them into writing, and be able to should score good marks, because there might also be other people, very brilliant chaps in your class who are also aiming for top positions. So yeah, it's a very good topic. And I believe that every Nigerian, really, every Nigerian adult would have a thing or two to say about Nigerian roads. I probably might not say anything different from what many people would say, but what I want to emphasize is that there is no excuse for Nigeria not having good roads. In fact, these are things that are taken for granted in our neighboring countries. Places like Benin, places like Ghana. I don't even want to talk about the Southern African countries, like Namibia and Botswana, or these are things that it's not a problem because the roads are there. They can't even imagine that roads are as nasty as they are in Nigeria. They had never seen roads being that bad. So there's no excuse whatsoever. Whether the road is a cheap they use cheap materials or they use expensive materials to construct the roads. There's no excuse for not having good roads in Nigeria. These are, it's part of basic infrastructure. And this is one of the reasons why, sometimes I've mentioned here several times, we can't even host an inter-house sports in Africa. Like if there's an inter-house sport, we can't even host anything. We're not even talking about Nations Cup, or we are not even near that. We can't host inter-house sports. It's that bad. We won't even talk about electricity, um, potable water, etc. I'm not talking about you, electricity. I'm talking about the real electricity, potable water. These are just the very, very basics. And then if we are looking for examples of people who have done this, even in recent times, let us look at the example of Peter Obi. I was in Anambra State when Peter Obi was governor. In Peter Obi's first term in government, I was in secondary school. In fact, my first day in senior secondary school, we were asked to go and protest Peter Obi's impeachment. To show you how very, very closely I followed, his government. So he reconstructed those roads. He didn't like construct many fresh roads. Those were roads that had been there, that were really, really nasty. And then he brought them back to life, reconstructed them, and he maintained them. By the time he contested for his second term, Anambra State had the best road network in the country. Rural roads were really good. We are really good. I remember when I was in university, I think either third year, fourth year, thereabouts, we went for an occasion in Anambra from Enugu. And some of my classmates, then some were born in the north, some in the west, some in other parts of the east. They had not seen Peter Obi's work firsthand. As we were traveling, we passed through, immediately we crossed Enugu State and entered Anambra State. It was smooth all through. They were shouting, oh my God. Everywhere was paved. Everywhere the roads were smooth. So these things can be done, really. If it was done in Anambra State, it could be replicated in other states in the country. And the reason why we don't have those, we don't have safety, because what here you're talking about safety in the roads. There are so many factors that have been mentioned even earlier. The roads themselves, road safety. We used to have a very vibrant, incorruptible road safety institution in Nigeria that was headed by Osita Chidoka. That time, you couldn't mess with a road safety guy on the road. They were strict, they were disciplined, and then the Nigerian factor came into it. The Nigerian factor. When you leave office, another person comes in, and before another person comes in, they consider this is the turn of the south, this is the turn of the north, and then some of those positions are used as compensation. He supported our party in this. Let us compensate him with this. We put in someone who has no clue, someone who has very, very horrible criminal records everywhere. And the person comes in and messes the whole institution up. So the road safety just went down as one of the most horrible institutions in Nigeria. So there's no road safety. In Nigeria, you could, once you can buy a car, you're a driver, whether you could start the ignition or not, nobody cares. You just get the damn vehicle on the streets and start driving and become a potential killer machine. So these are some of the issues. They rot in the system. Some of those systematic issues are still there. Like, you could get driving license once you have the money. Nobody cares whether you can drive. The police, the traffic police, they're just there to take, to extort road users, etc., a whole lot of things. Talk about maintenance, etc. And the issue of these ones are federal roads, these ones are state roads, these are local roads. What I think is that most roads should actually be local. Maintenance of roads, largely should be a local issue, to be honest. But the thing also is that the whole potpourri of mess in Nigeria, makes it even impossible for us to even sit down and recreate, things in the country, which is really, really concerning. And um, what how you see, why do we not even have those good roads? The people's mentality as well, comes to play. We reward non-performing politicians with a lot of praise. We gallant and festoon them with awards. What are they? That he has constructed roads, that he is paying salaries. Why when we should have moved past, those basics. This person is constructing roads, and then you will see someone who comes into office and just neglects all the rural roads, all the semi-urban roads, where like 70% of the population would use. And those roads are the things that would, improve the economy of the state. We just leave them and just focus on few roads in the state capital. And
Okay.
the same thing also plays out in the federal level. At the federal level, you will see them, constructing few roads in the federal capital territory, while the other roads in the different parts of the country are neglected. See what's
Okay.
happening in Nigeria, for example. The government constructing a coastal highway where 90% of the federal roads are in very terrible shape. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of things to talk about, and maybe
Okay.
I think other people would add some, flesh
Thank
to the
you. Stay
discussion.
humble, and you have enumerated a lot of those. And I think anybody who is listening should be able to make out what's really going on here. And I want to run down a statistic before coming to electricity. Statistics from road safety itself has it that in 2024, 5,421 deaths occurred on the road in Nigeria. 7% of that is from 2023. So between 2023 and 2024, 5,421 persons lost their life on the Nigerian road. Between January to September of 2025, 3,433 people. These are the official recorded deaths that occurred on the Nigerian road, and over 22,000 injuries, and then 6,858 clashes. That's crashes that happen on the Nigerian road. And the common causes are: one, speeding, wrongful overtaking, tire bursts, overloading, poor vehicle maintenance, bad roads, potholes, unmarked hazards. Lagos-Ibadan Express Road remains the most deadliest road in Nigeria. And of course, it often has heavy traffic and all what you have, or what have you. These statistics are out there. I also want to mention that the WHO says that in WHO's own reports is saying that 2020 estimates that 20 to 40 deaths per 100,000 people. In other words, WHO is saying that on the Nigerian road, 20 to 40 people die per 100. So imagine what that amounts to if you now tabulate it across Nigeria and the population that ply those roads on daily basis. Now, electricity, you're welcome. It is good to see you. Happy New Year. I also say Happy New Year to Forefather. You're all welcome.
Happy New Year to you and to everyone as
Yes,
well.
it's good to see you.
Nice
Today
to
we are
see you
talking
too.
about the very ugly incident that happened in Nigeria between on the road when Joshua was going back from Lagos. They've come to Nigeria to celebrate the date is December. What do you think will be the report going back to the people in England who have sent him or who he left behind to come and enjoy his friends? Why are you laughing? why, why are you laughing? Because
Honestly,
the people have a
the
something.
way
What do you think
the
you
way
take
you
back to
put
them?
it,
Yes.
the way you put it, as if it's on a missionary or an assignment, a government assignment
No, but like you
to
see,
Nigeria.
it's painful. I don't even want to talk about it. It's painful. I mean, there was a time a man called somebody Udo. I'm trying to remember his first name. It was on the road. It was on the Nigerian road. The police shot him and killed him. He was a Nigerian champion. I don't know if Tony remembers his name.
Dele Udo.
Dele Udo. Dele Udo.
Okay, I remember that.
And what was
I
it?
think it was a 400 meters.
Champion.
Yeah,
Yes.
champion. Yeah.
Now,
But
many years down the
this
road,
thing you just said
yeah,
now
it's Tony. Here is
it's a
Anthony Joshua again.
fundamental issue. It's a fundamental issue. My sympathy or condolences goes to those who died in that crash. However, this is what happened daily on most roads or express roads, motorways in Nigeria. So, like the prompt says, our outrage, selective outrage. Because it's Anthony Joshua, everybody was shouting. And but about Peter, John, Okpako, all those ones that medias don't cover, is their life not as important as that of Anthony Joshua, the unfortunate ones that died? So it's a fundamental issue. The question now is, what is the solution? Because we all know it's not the case that money contract has not been awarded to people or companies to construct that road. But over time, if you investigate, or you find that most of the roads have been awarded maybe 5 or 10 times, and yet nothing is being done. Nobody's being held accountable in terms of what is going on. The Calabar Coastal Road, which is a waste of money. That money could have been invested in fixing the existing road as well too. But Eunice, what is the solution? What are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue with this lamentation of our leaders, while we, the citizens, we don't, pardon me, respectfully, we seem not to want to take accountability for our inaction in respect to what is going on. Recently, I came across Adiola a video that you made about a lawmaker that was almost lynched somewhere in the north, when the people said he's not done anything, this and that. Why she condemned the lynching or condemned the lynching? I hope it will not get to that point. And even if it does get to that point, you're not going to blame the people at the end of the day. This is a known thing about. I mean, I've been in Nigeria a couple of times, even recently, where the Okada I was on was almost to run into a packed trailer because there was no sign to say this trailer is broken down. So it could be anybody at the end of the day. Is it that we don't have the law? If you go on the road safety, road safety now, where they like to stay is where the potholes are that will slow down the vehicle. Should road safety even be at that spot, knowing fully well that spot is bad? So what is the purpose of what? Of having road safety, where what they do is what? Is to collect money, stop vehicles, and collect money and what? And allow them to go. So it's a fundamental issue. It's something we have to really say, what are we going to do about it? Because year after year, as we are talking, one or two accidents is happening as we're talking because of bad road. That Benin, Benin Lagos going to Warri and all those things. If you go to that Benin bypass road, honestly speaking, during rainy season, people sleep there overnight because the road is terrible, extremely terrible. I think in one a recent trip I went, the driver had to go through the rubber research center just to boycott that bad spot. Sometimes you spend hours there if care is not taken. So we have reps, we have governors, we have this. So what are we citizens going to do about it? It's a known fact. I don't want to be talking about the problem that we all know, we are used to, or we grew up with. We're not talking about electricity as well too, but this is a known thing. Again, Anthony Joshua is just like other Nigerians there. No emergency services, nothing at all that you can easily reach out and say, oh, let me call 911 and have them be there. A pregnant woman will get pregnant in labor, you have to drive the person to hospital. You can't call emergency services that will come out. So it's a big issue, not just that. So what are we going to do? That's the question. That's the issue before us. Or with Donald Trump, or people were so excited that Donald Trump went to bomb, or the US went to bomb somewhere in Sokoto. Are they going to ask him to come and bomb our rep, or the red and blue chamber? Those pardon me for want of better word, those imbeciles that keep extorting or looting our money without would they do that? The answer to that question is no. So what are we going to do? That is what is before us. That is why we're here to have this conversation. That's why I joined this conversation, because I've heard so much cry about this Anthony Joshua and not giving consideration respectfully to those that we do not know. All lives matters. Rich, poor, all lives matters. No one should go through that. Accidents are preventable. Accidents are what? Most accidents in Nigeria, most deaths in Nigeria are what? Are preventable. I yield the floor back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Electricity. It's good to have you back. Again, you have made a very salient points that are very, very important to look at and to for Nigerians to digest. The other thing I would just say is we only, you see, there's always a catalyst that activates a revolution or a change in any movement. So Anthony Joshua's issue is only being that have come to the fore. Just like, there have been many lynching in the north until Deborah's case happened. And that became a turning point, in the things that, about that. So how I see the Anthony Joshua's issue is that he became a catalyst for the turn, for people to now say, wait a minute, what's going on here? But even at that, you see that even without wait a minute, only lasted for like 3 days. After that, Nigeria have moved on. It's a very dangerous place to be. I told you guys, I stopped doing, activism. If I had known, even I would have even removed myself from being a journalist. Join one of the APC people. I'm chopping money. I'm serious, because that's the only thing that sells. You see, the time you are standing in front of the group, thinking that they are full behind you, when you turn around, you find out they are the only one. You and your family will suffer the casualty, and every other person moved on. In fact, before they even finish putting you 6 feet down, they've moved on. And then you hear some people say, like, in this cage yourself, they even hear yourself. They even hear yourself. Now, so you just like trouble. No go leave these people alone. Leave them for God. God will deal with them. That's why we are where we are, my brother. Not because
KJ, do you know that 2 days after the accident, Anthony Joshua's accident, there was another accident along that same Lagos Ibadan express, just opposite Nafsat. Nafsat is a Muslim institution along Lagos Ibadan Expressway. There was another accident and people died.
13 people
Just
died.
about 3 days, 2 or 3 days after.
13 people died. 13.
13.
See?
Crushed.
And life moves on. That's Nigeria for you. Who will be person? Anyway, let us see how maybe forefather will have a different, how to solve this problem. Forefather, the road in Nigeria have been taking great men. When it's not the road, when it's not the potholes, when it's not vehicles parked at the middle of nowhere without any sign, when it's not any of those, it's the police checkpoints that are sniffing life out of young people or even the road travelers. And sometimes these things are done. I just got a picture of the bridge that was washed off in somewhere in Taraba, somewhere around one of the Taraba villages. And the people, all the people, they are perished, who are traveling inside a bus. Until today, nothing happened. So, forefather, what would be a way of tackling this thing so that this thing that will never, and how do we immortalize the lives of the names of those young men who I think have been part of the success of Joshua's story? Because one of them is a trainer and the other one is physical something. I can't remember it now, but one of them is his trainer. That means that one is really, it's like a squaring partner. You get him ready for what he's about to do. Now, looking at Joshua's career going forward, how will this affect him? And like I said earlier, when he gets back to England, what will he tell the family of those young men he took to Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you for that. Greetings, KJ. Thank you for hosting the show and giving me a heads up on the last one, because I probably would have transgressed even more greatly. So I appreciate that. And greetings to all the panelists, including all the haters, and including all the haters. Greetings to you too. And electricity, long time. It's good that you joined us today, and I hope we all have a great year ahead. This year may actually be a year of revelations, and I hope that is the case. And I would like to extend my own condolences. I did that before to the families of those that lost their lives in this crash. It's a kind of needless waste of life, loss of life. I was having a conversation with somebody that is tangentially close to the family of Joshua, and his comment was that, I don't know how true it is, that they may not feel very how do I put it, apart from feeling the horror of the situation, but they will also say, what, you people that go to these African countries, you think you're above the law kind of attitude, where you go and just start driving excessively, fast without being careful about, your driving. And hence, because this person also talked about their own country, that a lot of foreigners visit in December, and the same thing occurs in their country. So that is separate from the issues of the Nigerian roads. And I think this is why, on my own end, I believe that if you steal public funds, you should face capital punishment, because people actually die. They actually do die, just like we just heard. People die from the actions that people are, perpetrating and just stealing money left and right. And they will say they are. And when sometimes they want to be held accountable, then they go into tribal religious this thing, all this shady behavior. And question is, why are Nigerians not pushing for these sort of things? Because if they knew that if they stole these funds, that their life is at stake, I don't think they would think twice. They would think twice, and they would be spending the money on the roads and making sure, because that Benin road is a horror show. I can't believe it's still like that till now. Like, the video will be online, ministers will see it, and the next year it will still be like that. That is criminal. That is criminal. How can you see it and you leave it like that? You don't solve it. You don't say, let me be embarrassed for once. This video is online. It's been there for years. Let me just fix this thing. So it never, people don't come and see the shame anymore. How much does it cost to fix that they cannot do it? Even the big men in those towns and the government, they could just put money together. Even Dangote must have seen this. Don't we have shame? We can't even keep our streets straight in Nigeria. Maybe even Africa. We can't even keep streets straight, like clean. I mean, like if we want to clean it, oh no, we can't get somebody to clean the street because no, they are busy joining cults or the Agbaros or joining bandits and all the rest. You can't even recruit people to come and sweep your streets in Nigeria. The roads are dirty. The marketplaces are like some kind of pigsty where people just go and buy food and everybody's bleeding on top of each other. Flies are everywhere. It's like, why do we live like this? How did we manage to become this way where we go around the world and we see things, how people live their lives? And as a matter of fact, how we used to live our life. I remember when I was growing up, in the villages, they are not that dirty. The villages are relatively organized. You wake up in the morning, you see people cleaning the front of their houses, everything is clean. The villages are not dirty. Why is it that we cannot organize cities for some reason? When I look at Nigeria, sometimes it really baffles me, some of the stuff that goes on. But then again, when you talk about solutions, then that's where gridlock suddenly happens in Nigeria. It's almost similar to the kind of conversation I was having in my earlier stream. Whenever you try to reach solutions, oh no, you will start, somebody will bring tribe here, somebody will bring religion here, and somebody will bring party, and the other person, by the time then they will bring their degree. By the time they put all those things together, then the whole thing is tied up in knots, stubbornness, and ego on top of it. That's why we are where we are. It's not that hard. It's not that groundbreaking to sweep the roads and make sure your roads are saved. And I think KJ was right when he was mentioning those road studs that they put on the roads here. When you're driving, you're feeling a little bit tired and your car sways a little bit and it hits the studs, it wakes you up, you know. And sometimes even in the UK too, and you can also think from the point of view of the human beings in Nigeria. They don't want to obey the rules too. I've witnessed it before. A junction was blocked. That's gridlock. And there was a traffic warden standing there. I said, why is this traffic warden not controlling the junction so that the road will clear? The driver say, what? Nobody listened to him. I said, why are they not listening to him? He said, because he doesn't have the power to do anything. I said, why didn't they give him power? He said, so that he can go and abuse the power too. Look at the conundrum we are in. This one, this one is my lived experience in Abuja. This is my lived experience. He said, because that one is going to abuse the power too. It took a dignitary with military escorts to come and clear that junction for us to drive past. I don't even know what happened after that. That is the mentality you see in that country. Everybody, you create an opportunity to solve a problem, they want to use it to enrich themselves and oppress other people. So it's a very, very convoluted situation whereby, because like now, some of those roads that you are seeing and you are seeing those accidents, in the UK, they have narrow roads too. But you hardly see those sort of accidents because people have been trained with the right mindset to be able to navigate safely along those roads. If you if you break the law, you see your ticket now. You see your ticket now. If you don't see the policeman coming to stop you and accuse you of dangerous driving very quickly, and they will sue you and they will convict you. 33% of men in the UK have criminal record, and many of them is from driving. You screw around, you pay, because they are not going to have you be a danger to other people. That is why you have, even when the country roads, anybody that is in the UK knows, the country roads are very narrow. Some of them is just one lane, but it's meant to, it's one lane, but it's meant to have two cars. So when you are coming from one side, you have to go, there's this junction you will see, it's got a small space here, you park in that space, then the other car will pass, they come out again and go. They know how to do that safely. If you try that in Nigeria, the argument that is going to happen on that road is going to talk to, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? People are going to bleed there. That is the problem. The mindset of the people themselves, they've not been conditioned or trained to behave properly on the roads. This is a very, very deep problem, but at the core of it is the decadence at the top. and the people we elect to the top, we don't even hold them accountable. Many of us would like our, how many of us hate our House of Assembly members? How many of us hate our senators? Because if you hate your senators, I don't think they will be coming home for Christmas. Many of our people are okay with their senator because that senator brought street lights for them. He dug a borehole for somebody. But they forget that that same senator is the one enabling the budget to be siphoned, being shared, and making sure their roads remain the way it is. I don't personally, the people that are in Edo State, why are they not making more noise about this? Why are they not going to the federal government and saying this road needs to be fixed? And to be fair, most Nigerians still need to call that out because that has been a problem for a very, very long time. Anywhere you have bad roads, we need to be flagging it. But we'll see what happens in reality, because sometimes some of all this Jonathan episode, Joshua's episode, sorry, I said Jonathan, Joshua's episode reveals something. And he also reveals our our response team. There's no ambulance, there's no nothing at all. Zero. They want to use Keke to carry him to hospital. They kind of, I don't know, man. Nigeria, we see, and
no,
we really need to figure our stuff out. We have a lot to figure out.
Question I'm asking is, now this unfortunate thing has happened. What should be the response of the people of that area or the locality? And these two young men, very prominent, very enterprising, very well, I mean, I've not seen them wear boxers dropping to the knee. So I guess they are also very well behaved young people who like to patronize their country, because they could have gone to, I mean, any other, they can go to, where the beautiful girls are, the Tobagos and other places, but they choose to come back to Lagos. And now this has happened. What should be the lesson? And then what should we do? Even not only as a nation, but as even the governors of those states, to immortalize the names of those two young people. And I'm not saying this because there are people have been dying on the road almost every day, even today. God forbid, maybe some people will lose their life on the road. But I'm saying to serve as a signpost that never again will this kind of thing happen to us along this road or in Nigeria. What should be the approach that government should take? Is it just enough to issue a statement and say we regret that this incident has happened, and that is it?
No, it's not enough. If the government was wise, they will use this as a sign that they need to do a lot better in terms of ensuring that our roads are safer and the emergency response is actually there, not pretending as if it's there. And what makes it even more tragic is that, like you said, these young men came to Nigeria. They came to Nigeria. He could have gone anywhere in the world. He came to Nigeria to have fun. And if he didn't feel the Nigerian authorities were a little bit lackluster, maybe they wouldn't be speeding in the first place. If our road safety and system was functional and holding people accountable, the safety record on those roads would be far better. So there's a lot for us as a people to have a rethink on, because I really feel that this year needs to be a year of revelations. And because this event, even if it's just an individual, but it clearly sparked a lot of soul searching among Nigerians about why things are like this. Just look at Nigeria. You can see the problem everywhere. It's not like we don't have fancy buildings, fancy train lines, fancy roads. We have them, but we can't maintain anything. Everything is just, you can see that nobody cares. You go to even Victoria Garden City, Ikoyi, it's not as cool. The roads are not that well taken care of. You will see gutters everywhere. So we really need to do some serious soul searching and learn how to hold our leaders accountable. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll move on now. As for the speed one, I can tell you why that happens. I'm not alluding to the fact that the road safety was correct, because you can't just go to an accident and say, oh, this is because of overspeeding. How do you know? Did you investigate? And within 5 minutes, you say this is overspeeding. How do you know that? Okay. And some people say, they are traveling this fast because they must have taken some substance. How do you know? These are just why, we keep, masquerading in darkness. Okay, because we always have to just say something before we even investigate it. In fact, now somebody will run off with that. The question is, if you are driving in Nigeria, and I can tell that much, okay, and you are a dignitary, or you are somebody who you think, you are not safe where you are, the best thing is to do is to press your gas pedal, my brother. I don't do them before, so I'm not saying what I don't know. You see, as long as you are driving a comfortable vehicle that can resist a lot of things. So what you hope for is that what happened to Anthony Joshua not happen to you, that is vehicles parked at wrong places with nothing. But I can tell that sometimes when I'm driving along that road, there was a time I was coming back from Kaduna, and it was already dark, and I needed to get away from a place called Forest, where all kinds of things happen. Okay, all I did is match my pedals. I don't care who they for front, but see, that's how we travel in Nigeria. So it's not a new thing for somebody saying some people travel at a faster rate, especially if you are carrying dignitaries that they think they can be collateral damage if they run into the hands of bandits. So the drivers will not drive very as you want them to drive. And you see, it's a general thing, because if the roads were good and the place is safe, nobody will drive in that order. But because, again, you want to protect your passengers that you are carrying, sometimes you are forced to do a yeoman's job. You'll be clearing the road. You'll be also speeding to make sure you get away from places that you consider to be dangerous, flashpoints for all kinds of things. But I'll come to you, Mazokpara. In like in America here, once you have such accident and you are found to be the one who's at fault, your license is taken away, and that is it. Can that be done in Nigeria? Can that be introduced in Nigeria, where drivers are penalized 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and not to drive because you have been found to be, using the road to commit more atrocities to other people's lives than normal? What can we do as a punishment for those who contravene traffic regulations in Nigeria?
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame the driver. What is overspeed? Over here in Germany, you can speed, break your speedometer, cable. It doesn't concern anybody. When I was living in the UK, what I do is that because in UK you have if you cross the channel from Calais to Amsterdam, Belgium, you have speed limit. That means you drive 120, 130. But immediately you enter Germany, you hit the road, Jack. Hit the road. No, it doesn't concern anybody. The most important thing is that make sure that you are alert on what you are driving. And you won't be driving and you will see a broken vehicle parked on the roadside. It's impossible. The person that should be held responsible should be the owner of the truck. Where is the owner of the truck? And in Nigeria, most of these trucks are owned by very powerful men or men. They're untouchable. Do you know how many people they are killing every day in Nigeria? Do you know how many accidents those trucks are causing in Nigeria? And the drivers, the owners are not held responsible. Nobody touches them because they are above the law. This young man, maybe the driver could have maybe just trying to, just kind of swap, and that was it. I don't think that somebody can just, that kind of. In fact, Nigerian road, there's no way can even speed. Well, how do you speed? The last time I traveled to Nigeria, because whenever I travel to Nigeria, I drive myself from Lagos to the east. After Ore, I was like trying to speed up. But if you see the kind of, holes in the middle of the road, you cannot believe that people are speeding on that kind of road. If you eventually jump into that one of the holes, you are gone. So this overspeed, I don't buy the idea. I believe that road, the truck driver should have put in something, at least a reflective caution, or the police should have moved away those trucks out of the road. Over here in Germany, in fact, if you are driving on, we call it, autobahn. If you drive about 10 kilometers, you see a very mighty place whereby you can park your big lorries, big buses, your car, sleep there, and then move on again. But such thing is not in Nigeria. You can't see them in Nigeria. The infrastructure decay is the problem, not overspeeding. Because if you look at the car, I don't think there's any tire burst or something like that. No. And over here, sometimes you see police, they hide. Then if you overspeed, they'll flash you. They'll, camera will get you, and you pay the fine. That's a way of also stopping overspeeding. Because if you are snapped 2 or 3 times, because over here we drive on points. You have about 16 points, and eventually, if you consume all the 16 points, your license is taken away, and you go for idiot test. And this idiot test, before you pass it, it might even take it 5 years if you not pass this idiot test. So all those things are not in Nigeria because we are not a civilized people. We are not in a civilized. We are so backwards in everything. Tell me what is happening, what is working in Nigeria. We are so backwards. And as we speak, do you know that this driver has been arraigned to court? How can you arraign that driver to court? Why they leave the witness, Tony, what do you call it? Anthony is supposed to be there because he's a life witness, supposed to give, witness, say what happened, at that in the court. This young man now could be a scapegoat for this, what happened, which nobody knows exactly what happened. So the issue is that we lack everything. Tell me what is working in Nigeria. Tell me nothing. If you go to the airport, it's not working. If you go to the hospital, it's not working. Nothing is working. Even you talk about highway. Look at the streets. All the whole streets are packed. Both sides, trailers. Sometimes you see a vehicle parked there more than 40 years in the street, and nobody's police is not coming to told them out. The local government worker, there's no more local government staff anyway. So everything is chaos. Everything is chaos. My brother, the issue is that we have not, I've said it last time, we have not started discussing our issues. My junior brother lives in Botswana. My cousin, sorry. This guy, if he comes to Nigeria with his wife, you can't believe what they say, what the kind of things they say about Botswana and Nigeria. Botswana, my cousin. Oh, this Nigeria is this Nigeria. Nigeria is rotting. Everywhere is rotting, and because of corruption. Not that there's no one to do this thing, but corruption. Corruption kills everything. Corruption.
All right, Mazio Para. Thank you. Thank you so much, because I like the area and we introduced. You have 16 points, and when your points are gone,
yeah,
your driver's license is taken away, and as an idiot that the idiot is, the idiot to go for an idiot test.
It is called idiot test.
Yes, and the idiot who cannot to fail the idiot test until he's able to pass a stupid idiot test. That's what we should introduce. Our own, we call it Mumu test. There's no need to call it Mumu, so to greet the person. Mumu test.
KJ, lastly, please. Do you know that last time I was driving in Nigeria, the road safety pulled me out. What they were interested in, this car is just like, it's Tokumbo car, but compared to cars that on Nigerian road is chassis. They left the people all those, all those rubbish vehicles, big ones, small ones, that were after me and my wife. And everything was complete. They took my license, and that day I spent 2 hours begging them. At the end of the day, it's okay. Look at the fine. Look at what they're going to give us. My particulars were correct. They are after money. They are not after anything. You see those vehicles moving. Those vehicles that are supposed to be pulled and scrapped, they are moving. But that your car is very good, they will stop you and extract money from you. This is the system we're talking about.
I don't want to talk about that because there's many examples of that. They don't see you now, still say this one money go come out from there. And they know saying a big money go come out. That's what they do. In fact, in Nigerian situation, in fact those, I don't know where they used to live, but if you live in Abuja, this will happen to you. The policemen will go and hide under the flower after the traffic light. Okay? And so they'll be waiting for you. Once the traffic light goes from green and you pass at yellow, they'll just jump in front of your car. Okay, don't catch you or your park. I'm telling you what happened to me, And they will insist that you cannot cross the traffic light when it's yellow. I don't know whether that happened before. Let's say you cannot cross once it's green. Once green is off, you are at fault. And some of us who, when they're here, we argue with them, go to their police station and even insult them on top. But you see, the thing is, this is what it is. They are always after the money, not because they are trying to do the good. They are after the money. So, Tony, you have witnessed these things. You drove both the one that somebody will come in against traffic and you try to stop him and he will curse you and curse your grandfather. So how do we now regulate the system? Yes, I see you. Electricity, I hope you're not going away. Are you going away?
No,
you put up your hand.
I'll wait. Okay, go ahead with Mr. Tony. I'll wait.
Okay. Yes, how do we now regulate the system to stop this carnage? Because you notice, they are young. It's not as if when the accident happened, it's somebody who is 80 years old and 90 years old. No, these are young men who are trying to hustle around, make the country great again, bring their resources. Because Anthony Joshua, the last fight, he had about 43 million that come to him, right? If I'm right, 43 million, about thereabout. Now, if that money comes to him and he banks it to the Nigerian system, or even half of it, or even quarter of it, the system, the Nigerian commerce system, will feel the drop of that money. It's not just a small bagam, it's bagam, that kind of money makes on your account. So why is it that we are not seeing that these little things stop people from bringing their hard-earned resources to the nation? Whereas if we just tweak a little, it will make more people come in and more resources made available to our people. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, that's a difficult question, KJ. First of all, you mentioned that Joshua took about 43 million. That's almost half of what was supposed to be. Half of the money was taken away, for taxes and all kinds of things.
Yes.
And that's why most of the time they prefer to do this thing in Saudi Arabia or Qatar and so on, where you get your money 100%. But anyway, that's by the way. Shakespeare says that when beggars die, there are no comets seen.
That's true.
But the heavens mourn the death of princes. So what we are seeing, the reason why this is all over the nation and outside it is because this is a celebrity. Yeah, but just like electricity said, there's so many unreported cases. People die, and even celebrities, national, local, who have died, and nothing is done. So the problem with our roads is a very, very serious one that we have not taken up. It requires a national emergency. And I don't know what approaches, because the entire gamut is sick, just hearing from what everybody is saying here. There's so many aspects, there are so many dimensions to it. So trying to solve it is, it's quite a great and arduous task. But that said, I remember many years ago when I used to, when I was in Nigeria, I was driving, I think this was between Lagos and Ore. At that period, they will put these snails, hide them in some sort of containers and put on the road. And as soon as, if you are not very watchful as you drive, once you run over it, it will puncture your tire. And they position themselves because they know how far you would go before you stop. And they position themselves along the road, and then they just descend on you. So when you are driving now, you have to be looking, even as you are. And I think you hit the point when you made the point when you said that we are not certain as to what really happened on that occasion, because we are quick. The law enforcement agencies, road safety, they were so quick to say that it was over speeding and so on. Some people have said that the tire burst. Some people say it's over speeding and so on. But like you said, when I drive on those roads, when I used to, I speed. There are areas where I know that are bad, and I speed, I fire. Because you don't want to be caught in, and I drive alone most of the time. So you don't want to be caught in that mess. They have you as the meal. Most of the time when I'll be running that road, you see people positioning and they be pointing finger, they will showing as if there's something that has pulled under your car. If you don't know the trick, you just go and stop. So I don't fall for that. I just keep up because I know that when I have gone far and I think I'm in a safe place, I stop and I look at my car and just to make sure, and I go. So there's so much about our roads that apart from the design, like I said, and construction, and insecurity on the roads, you are talking about the culture that we see on the roads. You are talking about the way the roads are managed. There's so many. It's so complex. Before you even talk about road safety and all those ones, they are just stay there, and there are a problem. Some of them, the police, the checkpoints, and so on and so forth. I remember on an occasion, this is inside Lagos, I was driving, I had my daughter, then she was small, in front of my car. And as I was driving, and I was trying to turn, the police suddenly stopped me. The police at the checkpoint suddenly stopped me. And I just had to apply my brakes. And my daughter, fell forward. And when I stopped, I wanted to step out to go and challenge the police officer. Who stopped me. But I heard the other person telling him, how can you stop him like that? Why? So I stayed. There's a lot of rubbish. I've also had an occasion where one of them stopped me. This is very close to GRA Ikeja. He stopped me. I stopped. He said I beat the traffic. I said, did I? He said yes. So he opened my front door and he got in. So I said, where are we going? He said, let us go to their GRA office. I said, okay. I started driving. By the time we got to Isaac John, I turned off. I turned into Isaac John. And I said, where would they go? I said, I'm driving you because, you have the old governor's office in Isaac John. I said, you see that place? I'm taking you in there. He said, no, calm down. So when he looked at me, I said, they look where before they enter somebody moved. I had my radio with me because I was going to drive him inside there and have her arrested as a police officer. He came down and he started cussing. The attitude of, I said that to say that even those who are there to manage the roads, don't do what they're supposed to do. They hide there, they want you to traffic. That's what most Nigerian police officers do. They hide. So they want you to beat traffic. They want you to beat, to commit an offense. But over here, you see the policeman stand. You can see him visibly. He's preventing you from committing an offense. But in Nigeria, they want you to commit an offense because by so doing, they make money. So, so this culture, of people not really ready to do what they're supposed to do is part of the problem. It's so complex, that, I don't know how we're going to address it because you are dealing with infrastructure, you are dealing with security, you are dealing with signages, you are dealing with road markings, you are dealing with, lighting up the place, you are dealing with road culture, you are dealing with the road construction itself, you are dealing with pressure on the roads. There's so many complex issues that you're dealing with, and nobody really cares. If something happens on the road, nobody really cares. I mean, look at the attitude, our emergency action preparedness, is and rescue is poor. It's not just on the roads, even, when it's rail lines, when it has to do with airlines and so on and so forth.
So maybe you end this and real quick. Why does it feel that certain individuals are crying out from a building for 5 days? Nigerians couldn't get to those people to rescue them. Is there any reason under the sun that could have happened?
You're talking about the fire, the fire incident.
The fire incidents in Lagos.
You see, that's what I'm saying, that our emergency preparedness, action plan is faulty. First of all, I don't have the details of what happened, how the fire, occurred. But again, if you look at, safety and security, if you're talking about the building, over here, there are certain provisions that must be in, particularly if it's a high rise or is a building where people assemble. There are provisions, necessary precautions that you must take.
Okay.
Which is approved by the city in terms of exits, how you come in, how you go out,
and all that. And
yes, and then
procedure.
they prepare you. There's awareness, there's training that you go through. Should these things happen? There's inspection from time to time to make sure that people conform,
those things are working.
to those regulations. And if you fail, there are sanctions. So I don't know the details of what happened here, but again,
I agree
it's difficult, to have that kind of a situation where, smoke, carbon monoxide will kill people in just less than in a few seconds. Okay. In a few seconds, it kills.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That what you just said is very key, because one Sunday we went to church, and the pastor came and announced, please, so we will start a bit late today because the fire drill people are going to come, and they will conduct the fire drill. Everybody will have to follow instruction, and then after that, when they finish doing what they are doing, they will come. So before you know it, they were there, and they triggered everything, and they told people what to do, how to do it, and everybody, whether you are the whoever was inside the church, followed that instruction to the letter. And eventually, when they finished and they finally said they've checked, the systems are working, people are responsive, they acted in the manner they should, so they didn't have any reason to give lecture of what to do. So since people already know how it is, when there's an emergency, what to do, how to follow, and they left, and then eventually church service continued. I'm coming to you, stay humble. I can see AY, I can see Shola, Solomon. You're all welcome, but soon we'll get to you guys. Let me hear from Stay Humble. Stay humble. The question I have for you is this. The BBC and other international media was asking a question. Maybe you give us an insight. How come is the police van, empty police van that they used to carry Joshua, not ambulance? And how come they were dragging his leg and hand? Who didn't know where the injury was? So the way they were pushing and pulling him from the vehicle, even the one that managed to survive. What should be? Is it that we're just too local, just like Okpara said, that we don't know how to do things, or what? What is it? What you see, it's painful, because when you hear that from international media, that's what I keep saying. People just take us to cleaners. They say, look at the way, even the one that survived, look at the way they're bringing him out of the vehicle. And everybody's, people are just crowding him, and they're even taking pictures and dragging his leg, dragging his hand. Is that the way? And then how be it that there's no ambulance to take him? It is a police van that's taking him. Do you have an idea? And I asked you the same question they asked. How be it that the police didn't come with their police ambulance? They had to put him in a Rikita, open this thing to carry him away.
Okay, I don't know why why they did not accord the great Anthony Joshua that respect of bringing an ambulance from Asoro Clinic to carry him. Yeah, because I have discussed this matter with a colleague at work who was born in this country, and we had a very, very animated, robust conversation about it, and I told him what I thought about Nigerians born in the UK and what I think their attitude sometimes is towards Nigeria. I'll still come to that. So what happened to Anthony Joshua last week also just epitomizes, the fate of the millions, tens, or even hundreds of millions of Nigerians living in Nigeria. When these things happen to them, they say Nigeria has happened to you. Most Nigerians do not have access to these things. When you see an ambulance, in fact, 90% of Nigerians don't know what an ambulance should be, what an ambulance should contain. And they think that an ambulance is a vehicle written ambulance on it. We just a normal vehicle that someone could use for anything. Written, sent, Paul's Hospital, Amanuke, ambulance. And that's it. No oxygen there, nothing there, no paramedics, etc., etc. So, and that's the fate of so many Nigerians. And, I don't want to talk about our healthcare system. Primary healthcare is in coma. Secondary healthcare, you don't even want to talk about that. I was on LinkedIn the other time, and I know about the Lagos State Health Service very well. I saw a post by the commissioner for health when he said he visited one of the general hospitals in Surrey, and that they have just commissioned some facilities in the hospital. And I wrote that, look, this is a waste of time. You go with a very huge entourage to commission what? Most of the hospitals in Lagos, if you are using Lagos, for example, I don't want to use any other state because Lagos is the most cosmopolitan city in Nigeria. So most of the general hospitals in Lagos do not even have running water. They don't even have oxygen connected to the walls. The emergency unit in most of the hospitals, nothing to write home about. There's nothing emergency there. Just pay a visit to a general hospital in Lagos and go to the emergency unit, adult emergency, and see that there's absolutely nothing there. That is the fate of the Nigerians. So the Anthony Joshua did not get that treatment of having to be picked, by an ambulance. It did not come as a surprise to me because that is Nigeria for you. And then all the things that we've talked about the roads, about this and that, we know that these things are just very simple to be fixed. Could be fixed within a year or two with good heads at the top. They are just simple things, very, very simple things that can be fixed. And these countries in Africa, a whole lot of countries in Africa, they enjoy these things. They have these things as basics. What can you talk about the Botswanas, the Namibias, the Benin Republics, the Ghana, etc., etc. They have these things. Now, that leads me to one of the issues, um, you know, that I noticed amongst Nigerians born outside Nigeria, especially in the UK. I will not talk about those born in America. I've never been to the United States or Canada. But for those born in the UK, recently there is this growing enthusiasm among Nigerians born in the UK and about Nigeria. Or we want to go to Nigeria. That we want to, it's such a beautiful place, and they over exaggerate, things about Nigeria. It's such a beautiful place, and that's as a result of what's happening now globally. The far right sentiment, where people will tell you clearly that you are not white, right? So these people have gone through different stages of persecution, um what have you, intimidation, some kind of subtle racism, from these so-called Caucasians. And they now want to have that sense of belonging. So let us associate with our people back. And for people like Anthony Joshua, who are really popular, they are global icons. I think that what they should do more, instead of hobnobbing with these very, very corrupt um, politicians, they should use their status to actually canvass for good governance in Nigeria more than just hobnobbing with these people and validating their incompetence in Nigeria. Because when you now bring back your title, you've won a boxing championship, and then you bring that title back home and you kneel down before a certain Buhari and say you are presenting your title to him. Your followers abroad, your followers globally that do not know this guy, Buhari or whoever politician, might think that they are good. You indirectly validating their incompetence in power. And recently, and for Anthony Joshua, who has had issues with the white English people because of his stand regarding them, and so many things happening here, they are somehow gloating, and um some of them might be happy with what happened to him. Very, very unfortunate anyway, for someone to rejoice over someone else's misfortune. But before this happened, he had a very, very fierce online squabble with them, where they said, he mentioned that black people should not patronize white businesses, that they should only patronize black businesses. And then, why should you be saying such things? Because you should use your status as a global icon to promote some kind of unity. Even if you are fighting for Pan-Africanism, it should not be a hate kind of fight. You should promote Pan-Africanism, promote good governance. Don't just, because this is our brother in power, when I come back I will be protected, will be granted all the luxuries that I want. Because these people, when they come back to Nigeria, they give the impression that the politicians in Nigeria are doing well. These so-called British born people, they are some of the problems we have. They give the impression that the politicians are doing well. And then when they come back, they are granted all the luxury, all the paraphernalia of comfort that they need. Or they drive through the best roads, they go to meet so senator, so president, governor, this and that. So some of them, they have their minds closed to the sufferings of Nigerians. Yes, there are some Nigerians who were born abroad, born in the US and so on, who are really canvassing for good governance in Africa, who are really opposed to the corruption and all sorts of, vices going on in Nigeria. But also people like Joshua, should more of use their status to canvass for good governance in Nigeria instead of just fraternizing and validating these people's corrupt practices. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed what your contribution. You said, quite a major things. Some of us, when we go, we give validation to the corrupt system that is there because it gives us some coverage. And it's only in Nigeria I know that if I'm a friend of the governor of Kogi State, I'm just using that as an example. When I go to Kogi State, I will stay in the government lodge and eat government food. And so I can equally put a signboard. This is the friend of the governor. Becomes an office. So this will connect to, I don't know about Joshua if he did that or if he was doing that because he also was very close to government when Buhari was in government and he visited many times and got VIP treatment. But here is electricity. Who does not think that, because Joshua is an icon, there are other Nigerians who have suffered this fate for so long and nobody has as well told them, sorry for your loss. The question is, I was trying to get the picture of the event. The lorry that they actually ran into was not stationed at the middle of the road. So maybe the road safety probably is a bit right here that he overtook on the wrong distance and then ran, saw that lorry too late. And then again, when you drive on the left-hand steering and your right-hand steering, and when you come to Nigeria and you're driving on the right-hand steering, I don't know if the driver is the one that came with them from England or it was a local driver. If it's a local driver, he should have known how to maneuver that distance. And I don't know why they will allow this.
A local driver. He was a local driver at KJ.
Okay, so as a local driver, why is it that he wants to? What it's like I said, just like Tony also alluded, when you are driving, depending on the time they are traveling, sometimes you want to make sure that your people are safe and you yourself you are safe. So you get to a place where it doesn't look like it's too safe. You match your distance. And my own experience. I said earlier, if not because I was driving a very comfortable and strong vehicle. When I got to because I noticed that I had one. I entered a very big pothole, but because of the strength of that vehicle, the only thing I had was just like a small pothole. But when I got to where I was going, the next morning I went to look at my rim. The alloy rim had bent. So imagine what bent an alloy rim, what it would have done to a small car. So this is and that's because, like I said, that forest, when I'm coming from Plateau State, that place called Forest, it's a very bad place at night. You don't want to be there. And the best thing is to just take the best option, which is let me see how I can escape from here before anybody throws a wheel onto the road or try to stop you or put a log and all that. Even if they put a log that night, I would have hit the log out of the road. I won't stop. So those are some of the things that those drivers consider. However, electricity, do you see a way we can change this thing as we begin to move to another topic? Do you see a way we can be able to help secure Nigeria even when you don't have money? Because you're talking about the ordinary Nigeria now. How does an ordinary Nigeria secure himself? Because just 2 days yesterday, we saw they went to a village and burnt it down. They went and burnt a village down and said we should be getting ready.
I thought Donald Trump coming to bomb Sokoto State have given all of us grace because everybody was most people were rejoicing that Donald Trump has come to rescue Nigeria. And I said, I totally disagree with that action, fundamentally and otherwise. It doesn't even scratch surface of insecurity in Nigeria. But let me just say this before. Let me address Mr. Tony. Mr. Tony, indulge me to address you, please. To use you as highlights my point. You're familiar with the statement that says, or the scripture that says, he that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to that person is a sin. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Good. So would you say giving bribe is good or bad?
Is that
Okay.
question? Is that
No,
question
no,
for
Toby,
me?
let me answer for you. Let me
Yeah,
answer.
for Mr. Todd.
No, let me
No, no,
answer
no.
for you.
I'm going
Let me,
somewhere. No, KJ, I'm addressing Mr. Tony
okay,
respectfully.
all
But
right.
Mr. Tony, it's for everybody, but I'm just starting with Mr. Tony. It's for
Okay.
everybody. So,
Because in
would you say
Nigeria,
giving
you first
bribe,
of all decide what you do with your life first before you take out all those ones.
giving
I'm
bribe
serious.
is good or bad?
The answer to that question is very clear now.
No, I see. We're just
Bribing is
having a
an offense
conversation.
now. It's an
Okay.
offense.
So, you see,
But
why I asked this
but
question is this.
no, hold on. It's an offense. Really, it's an offense. But if you define bribe as a solicited action for something that is unjust or something like that, I'm trying to frame the.
Okay.
We in Nigeria, we have sort of normalized it. There are situations. I mean, I want to be practical now. There are situations where you find. Let me give you an example with myself, because since you directed the question to me, I have had a situation where I bought a vehicle for my mother. It was supposed to be a birthday present for her for 90 years birthday. So I was driving from Lagos, and I was the only one in the car. It was a Mercedes. And I got to a checkpoint, where I had 3 police officers, and they stopped me. And they asked for my particulars. I showed them and all that. And one of them still wanted to detain me and get me to give money. And he tried everything. I didn't want to. By the time he started threatening me, even to say he will kill me here, nobody take my vehicle, I had to give it. I had to just. I now looked. I saw that one of them was an Igbo person from the name tag. So I went to him. I said, "Listen, what I have, my papers are okay. How can you be here and this thing is happening?" You know. So he got shocked. He just said, "Okay, just give him anything and just go. No, nothing's going to happen to you." I give him money and
Thank you,
left.
Mr.
That's bribe.
Okay.
But
Thank you
I
very
find
much. You see,
myself in a situation where I felt threatened, and I just felt that if anything happens to me here, nobody knows. Nobody would know what has happened to me. So
I,
I don't know if I answer, but it's wrong.
I didn't put you in the box for any personal reasons. The reason why I asked is we want a change in the country. All Nigerians want a change, but and we also want a revolution. And for us to kickstart a revolution, one of the simplest way, I use the word simplest way to kickstart a revolution, is for the citizens, and I mean ordinary citizens, to at least stop giving bribe. Those who ask for this bribe will always fight back when they don't get it again. Then we will see a revolution that will take place. But take it to the market. As long as we still give bribe, I'm talking about ordinary citizens because we don't like to take responsibility. We know our leaders, the police, they ask for bribe, they do whatever it is. But we equally give when they ask. And we come with this excuse that, or reason that if we don't give, we will not get anywhere in this country. And as long as that is there, again, I repeat, take it to the market. As long as we citizens fail to do our own part, expecting a change from the top, it ain't gonna happen. So if most motorists, either private or commercial, decide to say, we have our papers correct. Today, we are not going to give this bribe. Let the heavens fall. They will fight back. They will go to their boss and say, the people have changed. Nobody is giving bribe again. Because we're talking about corruption. It's simply bribery. But we citizens, we indulge in these things. We do it on a daily basis. And until we stop, it's as simple as that. Then we will start to see a change. We will, like, I traveled and I flew through Port Harcourt, I came through Lagos Airport, and I asked the custom there or whatever there, why are the rules different? In Lagos, you hardly can go in with the person who followed you. But in Port Harcourt International Airport, it's a free flow for everybody to go in, except you bribe them before somebody can go with you in. Why are there different rules? Even though these are international passports, it's all about, and you see people giving them money so that their fellow brothers or sisters or wife or husband can accompany them into the check-in zone. That's what we're saying. If we can hold on to one thing, let's focus on this thing. Let's stop giving bribe. Then we will start to see a change. If not, we're going to sit down here day in, day out, year in, year out, decades in, decades out, generation in, generation out. The matter will remain the same. I am not a prophet of doom. I am just saying what I'm telling us. Until we citizens, like what forefather said, does this people have conscience, or the blood of these people is only? No, the blood of these people is as a result of our inaction. In Swiss, almost 40 people have died so far because of fireworks. If you follow the news, accident can happen anywhere. But they are able to take account of everybody who died, trying to investigate what happened, how they will try to prevent it. Accidents can happen. 99% of accidents in Nigeria are preventable. It's not witchcraft, please. I'm not saying witchcraft don't exist. 99.9% of accidents in Nigeria or deaths in Nigeria are preventable. So if we can stop, I'm not talking about our leaders now, because they came from us. They didn't fall from the sky. They came from us. So if I continue to give bribe, for example, and I refuse to stop, and I get to the position of leadership, will I stop? The answer is no. I ain't going to stop, because I did not stop where I was supposed to stop. I give 100 naira, 200 naira. When I get to Tinubu's position, I'll be giving billions and millions. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. It's bribery. Okay. And until we come to that point, again, I repeat, I'm not a prophet of doom. We'll be going in that circle. We'll come back here in 10 years' time. We'll be saying the same thing. Thank you for having me, KJ. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Mr. Electricity. Just before you run off, is there any possibility that electricity will soon come to Nigeria in the next few years?
No. Okay. But I think the government should. I don't know that the government would do it. We should, even though it's being explored now, this solar system, which is very, very good, because I have it. It takes a lot of, with electricity, constant electricity, there is productivity, there is everything you can think of. We waste the sun. We waste it. Even sun that we don't have to buy. We don't have to do anything. It just comes naturally. We waste it.
Okay, so what about this modular solar, what they call it now? Nuclear powered electricity companies that Russia is giving?
They can exploit that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. But you are electricity man, and we're saying, since that, because now, what is it? Are the people giving bribe to those who are there not to bring electricity? Because the people are not giving, that's totally not a bribe thing now.
And NEPA is not a bribe thing.
It's not.
NEPA is.
It's not,
NEPA
because
is a.
The bribe thing you're talking about, what Tony gave you as an example. I have been in that situation. You are driving at midnight and you run to a checkpoint where you have 3 policemen. You don't even know if there are other ones in the bush, but you have 3 policemen, and they come to you They say, oh God, good evening. Where are you going to? You tell them. Where are you coming from? You tell them. Who are you? You identify. Okay, open your boot. One say there's nothing in the boot. I just open it, want to see it. They open the boot, you search, there's nothing. Put the inner light, you put it. They search, there's nothing. Oh yeah, come down. You say, what for? I thought you were saying, no, come down. We want to be sure that there's nothing inside the vehicle. You come down. And then your sixth sense tells you that these people are up to no good. Are you going to, I'm asking you now, are you going to argue with them when they say you should give them
Thank
bribe?
you, KJ.
Yes.
I am not here standing on any moral ground to judge.
Okay, no, I'm not judging you. Hold on. I'm not judging you. I'm just simply telling you, as a human being with one life, in the middle of nowhere in Nigeria, in the middle of nowhere, no electricity, nothing, and the 3 policemen with guns, you don't have any gun, and they tell you to come down, and they finish searching you, they found nothing with you, but they still tell you, and your sixth sense now tell these people are up to no good, and they say, Oga, we want a social amount from you now. Are you going to argue with them?
KJ, again, this is an individual case here now. I'm going to repeat. I am not in any position or any moral ground to judge anyone's action. I spoke generally the question I asked, even what he referenced to a personal experience. But what I am saying is, if we as citizens, our day-to-day life, stop giving bribes, stop giving bribes, we will see the revolution we are looking for. It's not an easy thing. Trust me when I say so. Let me give you an example. I was driving one day, recently, and the road safety stopped me, and I stopped. Actually, the person car I was driving, I asked, are your papers complete? Said, yes. Okay, I have my driver's license. I said, from this place we are going to come back, I am not going to press my horn. So I'm going to drive without pressing my horn or sounding my horn, because it's on the use of driving. If you don't have one in your car, that's a problem. So I'm not going to step on my horn. So we were going. I did not sound my horn one single bit. I was using both mirrors to drive, and I was actually maintaining a speed limit. And we got to the road safety, and they stopped me, checked everything, asked me for my license. I showed them my license, which was a UK license. And they said, okay, there's supposed to be a paper along with this license. I said, well, unfortunately, I am not aware of it. But ignorance of the law is no excuse. So what do you want? Do you want us to park the car here, which I'm willing to do, to leave the car there? Give me this paper. Until I get this paper, I will come. And it's okay, next time, just have your paper and go. I say this in all humility of heart, God bearing me witness. I was not prepared to give anybody money. I don't like driving when I go to Nigeria because of all these sort of things, because I don't want to give again. And the forces are there to make you to give. Let's get that straight. The forces are there to make you to give, and you will be compelled or forced to give. But if we decide to say no, and I mean no, every one of us, it's not just one person. If we go with this campaign and say, don't give, don't receive, I'm talking about the ordinary citizens. I'm not talking about our leaders who are already engulfed in it. It takes, probably they have to die or kill them, whatever it is. If we decide we want a revolution, then we're going to say it. But again, I repeat, in the next 10 years, we'll come back. We'll be discussing the same story.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Logistics. Good to see you. Please do come again and get back to the hosting mode so that we can have more programs running. We have a lot of people who are waiting to hear from great minds like you, like Tony, like Jagun, like Mr. Shola and AY. Thank you for being part of it. And also, my great brother who I like so much from Germany, Mazi Okpara. Okay, Ewa, it's you now. And I asked the same question. I will bring that same question to you because I like the presentation of electricity. And I'm not disagreeing with what he said. we all need to move in unison if we're going to change Nigeria. But when you are caught in a place where you have no help, what do you do? Because I'm talking about the situation that I have been in, Tony have been in, and many people who drive in Nigeria have been in that situation. You are all alone in the middle of nowhere, and the policeman with a gun is saying, "Oga," and you can see that they have gone to do their thing inside the bush, and their eyes are all red. Do you get into an argument? And before you answer me, I want to say what Nnamdi Azikiwe said many years ago. He said it's only a madman who will be arguing with a man with a gun. So are you going to keep holding your moral stand that you will not give? Or do you say, you know what, for me to live to fight another day, let me part with this money, because you are parting with that money to safeguard your life?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Well, the reason why I joined the program was the Anthony Joshua accident. Actually, let me just quickly answer your question.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can go ahead and talk about Anthony Joshua and answer
yeah, that's a very tricky question, right? Because if somebody is holding a gun, I think I've been in that situation, to be honest. You have to, because this Nigeria police, even the military now, they are not well trained. They can kill you for nothing. I think you have to learn to work with them. Work with them in the sense that you have, don't argue with them. Don't argue with a crazy man with a gun, because nobody know what they can do. The issue of Anthony Joshua, a lot of discussion so far, actually, a very good commentary. But when I returned from Nigeria recently, I think Mr. Tony will bear me witness. One of my biggest complaints was Nigerian Roads. I kept complaining about Nigerian Roads. So we had discussion session here with Mr. Tony Fofada and others. I know Mr. Tony was really complaining about the Southeastern roads. I said to him, it's all over Nigeria. The roads are not motorable. That's the one big item I really noticed in Nigeria last time I traveled to Nigeria. They are very bad. I know of a road that's supposed to be like, let's say the roads here go 3 hours. People are using up to 10, 15 hours to drive on that road to get to their destination. This is a federal government road. All over the country, when the issue of the Calabar Coastal Highway started, which actually is not a bad project, I also consider it an elephant project. It's not following due process. I don't think that should be our priority. Our priority would have been fix the bad roads, the federal roads all over the country. If it's possible to do both concurrently, that is okay. I don't have issue with the coastal highway. It's also going to be very helpful in the future. But what is more important is our roads. Our roads are really, really bad. When I mean bad, they are very bad. So that aside, the Anthony Joshua issue, looking at WhatsApp, reading what's going on the social media, looking at the picture of the damaged car they are using, that car is a bulletproof, the SUV. It is a bulletproof car. When you see the damage, you will know that you don't need anybody to tell you they were moving at a very high speed. I heard Mazi Okpara say in Germany, you just get on the road. No, we should have speed limits. There is reason there are speed limits on the road. It's to protect you as a passenger. It's part of it. It's not only for the government. And protect the users of the road. That driver, I think, of course, he needs to be arrested. It needs to be questioned. Any lawful country, we actually arrest the driver and question him because he was carrying high-profile people or person, as the case may be. Joshua is not small; he is a superstar, so you must be questioned. It's just the right thing to do because they have to investigate him. What happened? You can never know, right? So it's just the right thing to do. I heard somebody was talking about the issue of the corruption of this whole system. As regard police collective bribe, road safety collective bribe, everybody, yellow fever, green fever, everybody collective bribe. That is a very sad one in the sense that they are not arresting people. Let's say, for example, you're on speed, like somebody alluded here. They will just wait for you to make mistake, then they collect money. That is a fundamental problem. It's not only the police evil. For example, even the EFCC, they will tell you they are arresting Yahoo boys. They are not arresting Yahoo boys to serve as deterrent for others not to commit fraud. They just arrest Yahoo boys to collect money. Same as police. You run red light, if they stop you, they are not going to punish you. They just want to collect money. That's also a big problem. So that's where we agreed with electricity when he said we need revolution. Nigeria need revolution. I don't think these things are too difficult. I think with the right leadership in place, I think we'll be able to have some result. Not only that, when they are discussing the state police, they should also give state power to control their traffic and anything related to motor vehicle licensing and all that. Let each state be independent in such a way that state can even generate money from this type of madness. But in doing that, let them fix the road first. If I put speed limit, if you like put camera, you will see out of the 36 states, you will see one or two that will really come up and invest in infrastructure, to make sure that driver don't drive the way they like. So even that driver thing should be tested. If he was drunk, if he was on drugs, they should test him. I strongly believe it was on a very high speed. This thing happened. Why I said this thing happened, I know a lot of people are also blaming Nigeria. Oh, it's the Nigeria issue. Yeah, partly you can't rule that out. But they happened. There was a Liverpool player that died last year around July, Diego Jota, with his brother. He was driving on Ferrari, I think, in Spain. He had the accident. Both of them died. Yeah, 28, 25. So this kind of incident happened. But electricity also stated 90-something%, 99% of accidents that happen in Nigeria, they are preventable. So this is one thing we need to do. So we cannot rule them out completely. Even when this incident happen, you have to investigate what happened so that you'll be able to correct future occurrence. So if you also go into that the truck that was parked on the roadside, sometimes you can also avoid it. Even in America, they park truck on the roadside. But was there an hazard sign that, oh, there is a truck parked here? At least, was there anything like that? So these are questions that needs to be asked. But again, you might be surprised nobody is gonna go in for it. So you will just discuss the case, everything we just. But we need to do more. Even the area of what is it called? Emergency service. What are we doing around that? I've seen accidents in a lot of states where they don't even have ambulance to take the people to the hospital. Like, yeah, we are third world country, fine, but we can still do better. In foreign country, you can easily see a helicopter fly to lift the victim to hospital and places where they get quick treatment. So these are all issues we need to really, really look at. I know in general, when people say Nigeria need revolution, that is where our mind should go. Not revolution or taking gun and buy people, but mind revolution. Yeah, when electricity said we should stop bribery, I will support that. I know somebody will say, how do you stop 200 million people from giving bribe? If we are serious, we can do it. We can do it because bribery is one thing that really, really destroyed the country. I feel with the right leadership, I'm still hopeful about Nigeria. Things can change very quickly. We just need the right leadership. We need very good, like independent judiciary that will help the poor man, that will help the common man on the street. You know, in that way, you will see our law will just start working. This big
All
manism,
right.
this are past my neighbor will stop. So that's the way I see it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Ewa, thank you so much. The last statement was making me laugh. I passed my neighbor mentality.
Yeah, past my neighbor
Um,
mentality.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution, and I really appreciate what you've said. I don't know if that's a revolution can work in Nigeria, but that's a discussion for another day. Welcome, Mr. Shola, and it's good to see you, sir. I don't know if you have been here before or it's your first time.
I've been here before, but I
Okay.
think Dr. Damages and Dr.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your contribution. And it's sad that, like when we started, we said, you know, Nigerian roads have taken away some very great men of Nigerian origin, and it's just the sheer providence of you know, God's mercy that this will have gone the other way, and yet nobody is even making, you know, apart from the official statement. Not much is being said, not much is being done. AY alluded to something. He said, even in America, trucks are on the road. No, but in America, once the truck breaks down, the next 5 minutes, you have a police van with the lights blazing right in behind it. And they will remain there until that vehicle is moved from that place. Even your normal vehicle, normal small vehicle, if you park it and they leave that vehicle, you leave that vehicle 3-4 hours. By the time you come back, you have a paper on it, you know, telling you, giving you the next, maybe like next, if you don't move it, they will, you know, they will give you a ticket. So the roads are made free so that when a driver is in trouble, he's not afraid of using the shoulder to, you know, prevent any damage to his life or the life of people he's carrying. Why is these things not taught in Nigeria? Or is there no way? Is that we are so barbaric of a people who can't obey simple instruction to save a life? We're not saying do us something better than that. We know that the politicians are not going to do anything good, just to make sure that people can live and go about their toil every day without having to, you know, the system bringing them to death or you know, without their consent. What do you say, sir?
Thank you very much, KJ, and I salute other panelists. Thank you so much for having you guys here. Briefly, before I go to your question, there's a question that Electricity was trying to answer, trying to give us his own perspective, which I want to talk about. You see, because the issue of being cornered by a policeman with a cock gun, I bet none of us here will not give something to go alive. You know, the story Electricity gave to me was not on the, because you can be going and a policeman can stop you during the daytime, and then you can figure out your way. In the night, I was going from Lagos to Ijebu. That was in 2018 with my family. We're going for a marriage program with my family in the middle of the night after we escaped the reduction camp, Oslo traffic. Middle of the night, my car, everything was intact. My driver, this man said, "We are not going to give me something," and he already cocked the gun. I was crying. My kids were crying. What do you mean? I mean, let's be candid. Let's be frank with ourselves. In the middle of the night, if you won't give, your wife will give. Just make sure you go alive. You have to be alive to fight. So the story we're giving is not the same thing as the story being face to face with in the middle of the night, face to face with the policeman with a cock gun. None of us here will give something to go alive. Let's be candid. Let's be frank with ourselves. Anyway, let's put that one aside. So I will do the same that Tony did with a cock gun. If you die today, which Nigeria are you fighting for? The one you were fighting for. Eh? When the call for, let's go and fight, they won't come out. You want to go die, you die for yourself. We're not ready yet.
Great.
Once we are ready,
I
you
agree.
don't. Let nobody gaslight you to make you go and lose your life. If you lose your life, your family will miss you. And to be stupid of you to lose your life. Nigerian of nowadays, I'm telling you, they are looking for somebody they want to push to the front, and they are going to enjoy their life. Showore is there, coming from America. They are not believing him. He's been there, going up and down. He will call for revolution and they won't come out. Let's be frank. Let's not push ourselves to do what we don't believe in. Anyway, that's aside. As for Nigeria, is a complete systemic failure. And I will say the reason because I live in abroad. The shoulder of the road is meant for the police, paramedics, firefighters to go and make sure they get to where there's a problem in front. It's not meant for you to park your vehicle. The shoulder of the road is not meant for anybody to move on. It's meant for the authorities, like the policemen. If there's a traffic in the front, maybe there's a crash, anything, for them to move, firefighter order to move and get there. But people are parking there and they were justifying it. You see, what happened to Anthony Joshua is what has been happening in Nigeria over the years. I've lost people on that road just because the fact that there is nothing working. There is no any emergency number to call. If they call, they won't answer you. They won't come. And you see people are coming around to help in their own way. People coming, which is an embarrassment to all. Let's not begin to paint Nigeria good. It's bad. It's a shame to all of us. That's great as the thing we are. As great as we have, that's a crash. That's a fatal, that's a tragic accident. And nobody, and then they say they call police. They won't come. They're just trying to save face. And the people, the street boss came around, they were dragging, and that's another danger. That's very dangerous. They don't know. They're just what they think they know, which is dangerous. So what we need to do, the government has failed, completely failed. And it's not now, it's just getting worse. The reason why we are knowing now is because the social media is bringing it out for everybody to see. It's been going on for years. Now, what do we do now? Number one, government need to rise up. Both all the levels of government, the federal government, the state government, and the local, they need to rise up and do what? And do their work. Those days, people get license. There are people who get driver license. They don't know how to drive. They don't even know the signs. They don't know when they say limit speed. I'm not even sure if there is signs where you have to say this is the speed limit. I've never seen speed limit on Lagos by the expressway. I've never seen one. Maybe if you've seen it, you can let me know. Speed limit, I don't see any sign on that road. They don't even know speed limit. They just run anyhow they run. They don't care. So the signs are there. I'm not sure they're teaching them. People get their driver license anyhow. So these are people that drive all around the whole places. You can sit in your room and get driver license in Nigeria. Anything goes. And then we talk about the situation of the vehicle. We don't even know. If Nigerians are serious, they don't even know. They say speed. How did they measure the speed? How did they know it was speed? Speed is a factor. How did they know? Here, they can measure your speed as they are coming, and they will show it to you. In fact, you will see it coming to your mail, and with your ticket. They just keep giving us all kind of guesses in this generation. And that's what you call driving under influence. Can they measure that? No. We have a long way to go. We've not started. It's a systemic failure. And somebody is asking me that we should paint Nigeria well. Paint what well? If this one will make them to wake up, which I don't believe they wake up because they've been docile for years. I don't believe in them. I'm sorry to say that. If this one wake them up, we will clap for them. But what is happening now is a systemic failure, and it's a chronic systemic failure. And we're not going to support that.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I think we should do at all levels of government, everybody must come on board, and all of them must come on board. The populace, and then they need to educate the people too. Emergency service is not there. They're not paying salaries.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I remember that when Wole Soyinka was leading road safety, these things were in place. There was ambulance. There were people standing on the way. If when it's December time, you see all the express roads, roads in federal roads, so to say, and even local ones. You see the men of the road safety in full regalia, 247. They are 247. Taking care of any emergency that comes. But today, I don't know. Are we really moving forward or backward? And I think that question should go to Jagun, who knows that area very well. Jagun, why is it that a whole Ibadan Express Road, there is no ambulance that will be able to cater to whatever the situation is on the road?
Thank you, KJ, for your question. I greet everybody on the panel and those watching and listening. A happy new year, is it? I don't know. I really don't know. What happened with Anthony Joshua, it really, I don't know, it affected me somewhat. It was quite sad. And the sad part of it for me, I think, is that whatever accident took place, it took place in Nigeria. And it was another disgrace and another truth-telling. We pretend a lot about the way Nigeria is until the truth comes out. The truth is not going to stay hidden. That's not how truth works. People think that they can gloss things over and lie about situations that are real. It doesn't work. The truth is going to come out at one stage or the other. Nigeria is a disgrace. It's a woeful disgrace, and none of us really notion, because the disgrace is us as individual Nigerians. We may not think so, but the disgrace is with the disgrace is on this show. I came on the show the other day. There's no way to complain about us as a people. I came on the show the other day, and this silly woman was now trying to police me because she doesn't like me. She had no sense of balance or fairness, but because she has grudge in her heart, she couldn't help herself but to throw me off the show. I left. I didn't need to be next to her. Very ugly woman. In what I'm trying to let us know, that we are the problem. Since I was young, I'm a Nigerian. Now I always wonder, why do Nigerians make a road without any pavement? Why is there no pavement on this particular road that I'm on? There's dust, or I'm walking in the road. Why? It's because Nigerians don't know how to do things properly. The truth about anything. We just accept the fact that we are playing under par. We are playing under par in every goddamn situation. We're a disgraceful bunch. The pain I felt at Anthony Joshua and his two friends dying on Nigerian Road when they were going somewhere. They showed pictures of them playing table tennis prior to them entering that journey. And I'm looking at this whole thing and thinking, look at this country, man. Look at this woeful place. Woeful. If I'm Anthony Joshua, I'm thinking, what would I be feeling? Just as you opened, KJ, you opened the case very well as to thinking, what is this man feeling? How did he go back to England and face the families of these people? It's not that it's his fault, but he's going to be carrying a heavy burden on his shoulders. I mean, it's too much. Nigeria is too much. It's a tearful place. It's to just be crying and lamenting over. There's nothing else that Nigeria has. You may laugh at this or laugh at that or say Nigeria this. You may say, but they're petty in comparison to the problem that is called Nigeria. Nigeria is a disgrace. Look, that car accident happened. I will blame the driver, and the reason why I blame the driver is because we've all had drivers. We know how precarious the road is. But Nigerian drivers who have driven me, they're drivers. They're good drivers. They know the Nigerian circumstance of the road. They know it. They know it. So when I look at the pictures of what took place, I know that guy drove off the road, trying to come back onto the road, and then scraped one side of the vehicle completely off. That's what happened. He came actually in order for him to overtake, or was he veering off the road for whatever reason? He came off that road because the lorry is parked on a hard shoulder, and it was only what would be the right side of the vehicle that was scraped, damaged to a horrible position, and then the driver's side back and forward were still in order. I mean, Anthony Josh was a big guy, so him sat at the back. There was no dent on the roof. There was no dent on that side, but there was a crushing on the other side. So you know that he didn't calculate well. He did not calculate well to make sure he misses the parked vehicle. The fact that the vehicle is parked is one thing. Me and you, we've seen millions of that in Nigeria. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm so sorry. There was a time, I think I was about 7 or 8, and we were traveling from our village back into Lagos. And there were 2 lorries in front of us, raced on both sides of the road, occupying both sides of the road. My mom said to the driver, go in front of them. When my mom said that, I thought, are you sure? The driver just maneuvered. He passed the 2 lorries that were racing, and he was in front of them. As we got now in front of them, there was another big lorry coming the other way. What happened now is that those 3 lorries crashed, killed everybody in the lorry. I was looking back at the crash. That's what took place by night. There's none of us that have not seen the horror of Nigerian aspect of transport. We are a disgraceful bunch of people. I don't care who you are. You don't know that you are part of the disgrace. I see it on this show all the time. The disgraceful way that we behave, the wicked way, the wickedness that's within us. It can't help but come out. We are wicked, disgusting, horrible. You know, it so burnt. It burnt me what took place at the ending. You know, the 25th happened. We had our Christmas. Everybody was jollificating and all the rest of it. 26th happened, or 27th. Where are we going? 28th happened, or 29th. Complete bad news. All of us had our hands in the head, wondering, what is this? Is this a plan? The man just won a fight with one idiot in America, and he came back to Nigeria with his friends, who are also Nigerians, by the way. And now 2 of them are missing from our planet. As KJ underlined, nobody can bring these lives back. I was, you know, we have aspects within our that feels that we can do the Jesus thing and create miracle, make these people. There's no, I won't say there's no such thing, but I can't do it. I wish I could. If I could, but I can't. So they remain dead. It's too much. I would just like to say this about 2 things that people have said, if you allow me, KJ. Electricity mentioned, we should not give bribe. Yeah, it's easy to say. It's easy to say that kind of thing. But bribe is not the problem. Corruption is completely different than bribe. Corruption is different from stealing. Corruption is different. Corruption, it means that your soul is dented. Soul, not the fact that you do this or you do that. Your soul is corrupt. That is what corruption is. If you're confused, I don't like people where they come and start talking like they know what they're talking about. It was so good not to see electricity for so long, even though it looked pretty well, I must say. But
Okay, Jagu, you're done.
Let me say the last thing. Let me
Who
just
was
say
this?
my.
Nabu cannot make
He
it.
was
Was sick before.
I beg everybody's pardon. Let me just say the last thing about what that other guy said. What's his name? Stay humble. He should stay so humble that he should keep quiet. He's talking about British-born Nigerians. That the British-born Nigerians are part of the problem of. Are you sick? Look, you see, I'm not British-born. I'm Niger-born. I'm British raised. In the fact that I'm raised here with my brothers and sisters, with my 1 or 2 of my cousins, is that we think differently from you people. We think completely differently. Completely. The way Nigerians think, since I was, my parents are great people. but they're Nigerians. And I don't say that as an excuse, because my father was of that old adage where, you know, they lived through colonialism. The British were there. And my father, King's College educated, he behaved very much in the line of decency. That's the kind of man. He was a decent man. And his decency showed us as his children a lot. For me, brought up in the UK, I'm rough. I'm rough because the world is rough. By the time I got to school in this country, they treat me rough. So me, I'm not playing with you people. I'm not here to.
Okay.
Wait. Let me just say this. All I'm saying, I would just like to end on this note.
Okay, please do it.
Most British-born thinkers, they fall into two categories. They either love Nigeria because their parents are Nigerian and they want to belong, or they dislike Nigeria completely. And their dislike is based on the fact that it's as though you're not seeing what I'm seeing, because what I'm seeing is terrible, it's crap, it doesn't belong. So they hate Nigeria. Those are the two categories. But both categories know what is what. They know what they're looking at. They know what they're looking at. The only thing is, somebody like Anthony Joshua, who would offer his belt to Buhari at the time, symbolically, that is because he wants to be polite. He wants to fit in. He wants to have respect. All these issues that Nigerian people love. But me, I am not like that. Respect is earned. It's earned. And I've always told my parents that, my uncles that, it's earned. It doesn't just belong to you. Are you out of your mind? Because you're old. That's why I should give. I'll give it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Jagu, I thank you. You have lightened up the whole space. So whether anybody likes it or not, you have brought a different aspect of what I've been discussing, and I appreciate that. And that's your view, and it's respected also.
Thank you.
Here we have Sister Ife Chisom. Yes, it's your time to welcome back. Welcome. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to that's what voting. Happy New Year to Dr. Adam. All right, Ife, tell us what do you see, and you have heard all the shades of the colors. Where do you belong?
Ask the question again. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Ife. I said you have heard all the arguments so
Can you
far.
hear me, KJ?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so where do you belong?
Yeah,
where do you
I
belong?
think
What's your
everybody.
own state?
Okay. I don't belong to anywhere. I don't belong to anywhere. Happy New Year.
Are you
everybody.
part of Buhari's family?
So the truth of the matter is this.
Ife, Happy New Year, my sister.
Good evening. Happy New Year. So the truth of the matter, honestly speaking, is the only reason why we are talking about Anthony Joshua is because he's a celebrity, right? This is everyday, ordinary citizen in Nigeria life, every day. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but I have to. It's not, nobody's life is more important than the other. People are buying due to the same problem that happened to, the same thing that happened to Anthony Joshua. And nobody's talking about it. But just because Anthony Joshua, is now, it's not able for us to discuss. My thing is that us are equal. Okay, you're not more important than me or to any other person here. We are all equal. I'm so sorry to what happened to Anthony Joshua. He has a voice. Hopefully he will use his voice to advocate. You see, I hate to say this about my country, but I will. Donald Trump, I don't want to use the word invade, but I will. Invaded our country. Our president did not make a speech, or did he? Because I did not hear him say anything. He has our president is all the way in France, but he called Anthony Joshua. A whole country, something like that happened. Our president did not address us or said anything as if nothing happened. He left. But our president left to go to vacation in France. his second home. From there, he called Anthony Joshua and spoke to the governor, Dapo Abiodun, whatever his name is. And you're going to tell me this is a country that we are all, clamoring for to have a better country, a better system. The people in Nigeria that have their licenses are more than the people that doesn't have license, honestly speaking, because they don't go to driving school. If you want driver's license today in Nigeria, you will collect it today. Now your money could talk. So the only thing I can see that happened is the speed. I know, because for that that accident to have that impact, the driver was speeding. I don't know if the people in the car said something to him. So he's over speeding. There is nothing else you can tell me. Do we have speed limit? I saw what is it called? Traffic lights, stoplight, and all that stuff in Lagos. And my sister was driving, and I'm like, "Didn't you see this light? Can't you stop?" And she said to me, "You're not even serious." And she kept going. Everybody going. And then you wonder what is the essence of having all these things if you cannot obey the common traffic light, road signs. So I'm so sorry for the people that lost their lives. May their soul rest in peace. But this is every thing that happens in our country. And this is the same reason why we come here every day, demanding for a better Nigeria. Nobody's even talking about ambulance. Even ambulance come itself. Which road will the ambulance, or is it the traffic? Even if the ambulance is coming and there is a traffic, tell me how the ambulance is going to be under 30 minutes. Ambulance might be 2 hours away from where the accident happened. So there is no reason. We don't have any difference, about whether we have ambulance. Had it been ambulances there, I might tell you there is no gas in the truck safe. They find something to say. I'm so sorry, but I mean, that's the more reason why we have to, again, keep speaking up. In as much as we all love this country called Nigeria, but we are the problem. Tinubu is not the problem of Nigeria. I keep saying it. We are the problem. We are, the citizens are the problem. This accident that happened, it wasn't Tinubu's fault. That state has a governor. If you're going from Lagos to Onitsha, if you see the roads, not forget about Benin, come to Asaba. From Asaba, before you get to Benin, the road is horrible. And you ask yourself, do they even have government? Of course they do. We all see them on social media flexing, attending events. They don't care about me and you. As long as they are there, as long as they are stealing, as long as we are not speaking up. And again, until we are ready to rise up against these monsters, because I call them monsters, all of them. We have governors. We don't even have local government chairmen and all that stuff. Then how can the citizens reach out to to their leaders? For most of us here, all of us, if not all, we are all in diaspora. We have access to our leaders. I remember when my friend, she was pregnant with twins. She doesn't have help. She wrote to her senator and she wrote to her House of Rep. They gave her dad a visa, but they didn't give her mom. She said, I don't really need my dad. I need my mom more than my dad. Guess what? He did. Would you do that in Nigeria? Do you even know who your senator is? Where all of them are running to go to get health care, because all of them, they are all sick. They are running to one country or the other to go get a health care. Can you even reach out to them to do something for you? I can't even reach out to, what's his name? Festus Keyamo. I can reach out to him to lay my complaint about what is going on at the airport. I can't. He was busy tweeting about Obi, calling him names on social media. These are the people we call our leaders. But I don't have access to him. So, I mean, this is everyday thing. I don't know why, people, or is it because somebody died? We won't talk about it. We just and we keep moving as if nothing happened.
All right.
For Anthony, like my brother said, Jagun, how is he going to go back to England without his friends? And what's he going to tell his family?
Thank you so much, Ipi. And that's why we are here talking about it. I try to put myself in Anthony Joshua's shoes. It brings tears to my eyes. These are not just his working partners. They have become friends. It's like when you work in a theater production for a long time, every actor becomes your brother, your sister. You all just, you just mingle as one. You go to each other's. When they're in their house, you don't feel they're outside. So that's how they become. They bonded, and those guys have his story of success cannot be told without mentioning those two guys, because they have helped him to build that career. Why are we talking about him? Because we are trying to use him as a catalyst to raise the issues that ordinary Nigerians are going, who may not necessarily carry the cloud that he's carrying. Whether we like it or not, he's an international figure that can be identified in any way, part of the world that he shows himself up. And because of that, we are using this as a yardstick to discuss what is going on in our dear country, where the ordinary Nigerian who knows nobody, has nobody to speak for him, lose their life on daily basis for things, just like Jabu says, things that can be preventable, things that other nations don't suffer. When you hear of an accident, in fact, in America, before you see record death on the road, it's difficult, because they've made it almost impossible for your car to crash in such a way that you will not survive. And within the space of time, that road is cordoned off, and ambulances are everywhere, and everything is done to save you, to stabilize you, and then go ahead to go. But I'm not saying that people don't die. I'm simply saying that they fight to make sure that that life is preserved, and that's what we must carry, and that's what we are trying to get the authority to realize, that nobody can. You see, this life. Anyway, let me leave it. I'm sure that diaspora voting will have a different way of seeing it. So
you and Dan Azaya, comment section. But you and KJ, Muna take that. I don't know what are they find me for this new year. Anyways, glad to see everybody again, man.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Man. Happy New Year to you, my brother. It's you. This last December, man, damn, the number of people that just went off with the year is really devastating, man. For me, I lost some few persons,
Luckily, are you also glad to see me? That's good.
Sorry?
You're also glad to see me?
You can't come out of his cap. You can't get like two people here. I'm not gonna understand. You can't get his cap. You always wear his cap. Your hair come like two people. I don't understand. Yeah, I can say thank you, everybody. Welcome anyway. You see, for this Joshua incident, it can be a wake-up call for other worse scenarios where we have bad roads, emergency response and all that. But trying to stick on this matter of AJ, so sad for him, man, because for me, I don't know how he can come back from what just happened. I don't think it's possible. Because if you want, because I think he's made an announcement that he's resigned, right? He's retired from Boston. Like, no point. It paid me sharp because I wanted to see the fight between him and Tyson Fury. That was the fight I wanted to see. But he's putting out a statement that he's retired from Boston, like, man, that is heartbreaking, But
no,
we move.
Statement is fake. It's AI. It's not from him.
No, not that TikTok, not the TikTok own. I mean statement, not the TikTok. The TikTok videos AI.
Okay.
And not the TikTok videos AI. But like, we move because we've lost blood relatives that are even closer than AJ. So at least we've been there, we're back. So AJ was just one of these. So fortunate that we love him, but talking about this issue, I've seen people in US, as in British, Nigerian, American, Nigerian, blaming Nigerian system for what happens to AJ. To me, it's pathetic, but sorry to say, nothing Nigerian happened in that road. Everything Nigerian, everything, and what happened in that road can happen anywhere in the world. Can happen anywhere in the world. because where the trailer was parked is hard shoulder. There's hard shoulder layover trucks everywhere in the world. Yeah. And that road is a smooth, flat, very good road, wide with 3 lanes, and the lanes are marked. Everybody knows their lane, their position. So you will not veer from your lane to another lane. It's marked white. Go and check that road again. You understand? It's marked wide. And where the truck was parked was hard shoulder. You understand? Yeah, if he was there or not, you never can tell if his truck was bad. And if he has called for tow truck to come at that second. I know in Nigeria, other places, they will leave truck for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Yes, it happens. They will come and repair it there. I know it happens. In other places, yeah. But in that spot, you don't know if he left that truck there waiting for emergency. And I also discovered that there's a soya bean processing plant very close to where he is. So where he's parked, I think about less than 200 meters, he would divert to that plant where they process the soya beans, whatever. So why he parked there, I don't know. If there was maybe over whatever in the plant, he decided to park along the road, waiting for his turn so he can go inside the compound, or whatever, I don't know. But like I said, hard shoulders, people parking hard shoulders, whatever. Then that lane is 3 lane. Yeah. For a driver, I know Nigerian, the way they behave. When they're carrying VIP, everybody wants to protect their job. They want to be in their best behavior. They always, I know their job, and we have reckless drivers, especially commercial transport drivers. They are reckless. I know that. Some private, but in this case, the vehicle do not belong to the driver. There are people who buy this vehicle very expensive, and they give it to only VIPs for whatever they want to do because they trust they will pay. You understand, for very expensive amounts. Yeah, the glass is tinted or whatever. And don't forget that car also, the SUV Lexus also has escorts with a police blaring light, whatever, behind them. And the glass were tinted. So average Nigerian man, Obaba, this is not politician, this is not VIP, this is not colonel, this is not army man, he get level. So no vehicle will try to do rubbish where they did. You understand? Because of what they believe, perceive about that vehicle. Now, if the driver, the only logical reason to me is all of them maybe fatigue, whatever, play fight, they were all sleeping, and the driver himself fell asleep, maybe because of AC or whatever. I don't think the driver will there, because the logistics company who is handling the vehicle, giving whatever to VIP, they will not be so stupid to give a driver who is drunk that can sleep on the steering. So I don't know, whatever that might be. And saying that, oh, there's no ambulance there. Sometimes I don't wonder how people think with that kind of impact. Put the best hospital in the next 2 meters in that spot. They put 100 ambulance there. If that accident happen, they will still die. Nothing will happen. Nothing will change.
No, the ambulance. So if I say, bros, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, my brother. The ambulance scenario was not about the deaths. It's about this.
No, I'm not talking about.
Hey, then you can't mention that now.
Exactly.
People are saying, hold on now, bros. People are saying, oh, no ambulance. The ambulance should be there. This and that. That's what I'm saying. If you put the best hospital there,
the ambulance should be there, brother. Don't mix up things. Don't mix things up.
Hold on, man. Stop now. I'm not talking to you with those now. You relax, chill. I beg. This 2026, bros. I beg. Okay? So, like I said, put the best ambulance there. Nothing will happen. The only thing they will do, they can only ask everybody to leave the scenario.
You can't say.
AJ from the place so that to avert any further injury, because that impact.
Hold on, Local P. Now you got my attention. Are you saying the ambulance will be controlling the traffic? What are you saying?
No, I said the people. You know the my English. I said the people. So our people will not crowd them. Listen. When the accident happened, it was people who removed the bodies from the car.
So you are wrong there. Sorry, you are wrong.
Now you're wrong. Don't you say things you're not now.
What? I don't understand.
We are all abroad. We know what happens here.
Jago is correcting you. You're wrong. Your narrative, Local P.
Hold on. Wait. Let me ask one simple question.
Local P, we have two medical practitioners on the platform. Listen, Local P, your scenario is wrong.
You must listen to me.
Okay.
Who removed the bodies and AJ from the car? Who? So now, who removed the bodies and AJ from the car first? Because road safety officials were there who removed it. But like I said, the indigenes surrounding the vehicle were the ones that removed the body, put it on the floor for the car, and road safety came and they all gathered with security army, whatever. They now removed AJ from the car because AJ was stuck in the car. I don't know how they removed him.
Okay, is that right?
Was stuck in the car. That right. Thank you. Is that right?
Okay, if you guys allow him, he will be able to explain. Then we
I
can.
don't know how I'm they think at times. Listen, just
But
quiet and listen.
Listen, Mr.
Don't tell
KJ,
me
we
that is right
cannot
or not.
allow
I'm painting
misinformation
a
to
scenario.
take
I said,
over. No,
even
your
if you just
scenario is not
listen now,
making sense.
it's not of
Okay,
business. Keep
No,
your
let
business
Adama,
in
Lokopi
your
finish. It
pocket.
doesn't matter.
Adama, please
Let him
Keep
let
might
him
not make
talk.
sense in your pocket.
You
This
will
is
talk when
2016.
it's your turn.
Keep it in your pocket.
That's
What I'm
why
saying,
voting.
AJ, is
Go
simple.
ahead.
I said if the best hospital was there and ambulances were there, what would have happened will still happen. I understand the issue of ambulances when it comes to other scenario where they might save life or whatever. I'm using AJ's case that in AJ's scenario, ambulance would have barely done nothing to save any life. You understand?
Why?
The
He
best
said
they would have
Are
done.
you
Hold
kidding
on.
me? Can you listen to yourself?
Hold on. Listen to me now. Hold on. Listen.
You
The best they would have done.
That's wrong. That's wrong. How can
No,
you say
Mr.
ambulance
Tony.
would have
Mr.
done
Tony.
nothing to
Mr.
say?
Tony. Mr.
If
Tony.
una,
Even
if
they,
una,
you're
they
contradicting
can give first
yourself.
aid.
to land
The report I
They
now.
have,
can, they
Mr.
can,
Mr. Tony,
Tony,
the report I have,
they
leave
can
him to
extract
land.
hold on.
people,
Mr.
medically the
Tony.
way they should.
No, leave him to land.
This is
Tony,
breaking.
please.
Mr. Tony, the report I have, the first guy, the Yoruba guy, Miss Race, that one on the spot, impact dead. The one behind, I didn't see any video from my investigation. I didn't see any video that he bled to death, that they was waiting for an emergency, he didn't come on time, and he bled to death. No. The report I have that both of them were killed on the spot of impact. That's
Who
the report I have.
satisfied? Who confirmed that?
Sorry?
You keep saying the report you
Who
have. Who
confirmed
are
that?
you to
No,
come
hold
out
on, bros.
publicly and say the report you have?
Mr. Shola, Mr. Shola.
Hey,
Sorry, with all due respect. Look,
people,
before I say
relax now.
something, I can't say something to fool myself online. Never. You understand? I can't say something to fool myself online because I want to make any
No
cheap point.
copy. The report cannot be made. You cannot have the disclosure of the report because guess what? You are not at the scene, and for you to have that report will get you in trouble. So be careful what you say here. Our faces are showing. So don't come here to get yourself in trouble. That's what I'm advising you.
Good, no problem. Thank you for your opinion. Chill for one corner first. Hold on. So what I'm saying, Mr. Shola, is easy. Mr. Tony, what I'm saying is this here. Both that impact took to life immediately. So what I said, that's why I say ambulance. Even if you put the best hospital there and ambulance there, they wouldn't have saved any more. They can't save two of them life. That's what I'm trying to say. For AJ, yeah, I know in accidents, yeah, normally you leave people where they are and you allow ambulance to come and move them in a safety way so that they will not get further injury. Maybe in that, if you reposition them, they might have further life-threatening injury. You understand? But in this case of AJ, I'm using AJ as a scenario, as a report, that in this case, the ambulance and the best hospital cannot save both of them life because both of them life was cut short on impact. On impact.
I think
with my reports that I have on the ground, with videos or whatever I have on the ground. Not I know to go with videos where social media shows you or where social media. No, with investigations that I have on the ground. How I got them, it's not your business, don't worry. I'm not going to watch people are saying social media. You understand? For AJ's own, yes, the importance of ambulance would have been there because those people that were there removing AJ from the car may have caused further injuries to AJ that might also be life-threatening. That's why I say yes, there was that why I said those two people, nothing ambulance would have done, but for AJ, fine. You get my point.
Okay.
Then for why the accident happened, for me as a driver, everything boils down to the driver, no matter what, except
Lokopi, you are speaking as if you were right there at the spot. You can't make those value judgments.
Okay, hold on now, my brother, Mr. Tony, Mr. Tony, do you not know, Mr. Tony, do you not know who I know? You don't know where I stay.
No, you are not there. Whatever they told you, secondary.
Yes.
Anyway, we have a doctor here. I think the aspect that has to deal with medical. I think she's a proper person.
No, Lokopi, what you're saying is wrong.
You don't know who I know.
Lokopi, you don't want to listen. You want to say in an accident scene, you have to access to the report. No, you were not there. I was not there. Stop saying what you're saying. You were not. I don't care what you know. Stop saying something that will get this platform in trouble. You were not there, so we don't know anything.
If you hold on, let me say this to you.
Hold on.
Don't try to make your point and want to like disrespect somebody or discuss somebody. Sometimes you stop. You understand? Because if you talk and keep quiet, they give you respect as a lady. Don't abuse it to like, oh, you want to talk on other people. No, don't do that. When I talk whatever, don't tell me you put me in trouble. You don't know what I know. You don't know how I work. You don't know if I just came from Nigeria recently, or you don't know if I have cousins that lives there. You don't know these things about me.
Lokopi, you don't also know who you don't also know who we know. You don't also know who we know.
Can you guys just hold on?
Mr. Tony, Mr. Tony, let me take you.
Can you just hold on, Lokopi?
Yeah.
Can you hold on? Can you hold on, please? Now, Lokopi, this is the argument where they are coming from. It's only the medical people that can actually satisfy whatever at that time that this person is dead or not dead.
Correct.
That's one. Two, even if the person is dead, this is what we learned in the management of such things. Even if the person is dead, they want to give the person dignity, like the person in a more refined way, not just dump the person into any truck just like they did. So what they are simply saying is this: it is always better for the medical people to handle this issue. Even the way they pull the Anthony Joshua, I was telling my friend, look at the way they're even pulling his hand. Suppose it was the hand that was impacted, so you are pulling him, and pulling his leg, and everything with Yakata.
Mr. KJ,
that's
Mr.
what
KJ.
the argument that it's saying.
KJ,
But hold on, I understand your position now. So tell us your position clearly, so I can move to another person.
Let me tell you what I'm saying. I said, I did not tell you I said on the impact, those guys lost their life on impact. Yeah. You said, hold on now. You said, I also said about AJ's own. I said the only thing you said ambulance would have been there for, that the way the civilians moved AJ, that would have been life-threatening for AJ. I said that already. You know well on. What I'm talking about, I said those, even if you put the best hospital there, I said those 2 lives wouldn't have been saved. Because the first one is
said that. You're not a medical practitioner.
Come,
Don't
man.
say
Because you want to do any
you
stop
are
now.
not. Keep quiet. I have
Okay.
Are you mad? What do you worry you now?
Okay.
What do you worry you now?
You don't have to know about what they worry me. We are a platform that speaks based on facts and reports. Stop saying what you're saying. It's not
You have to let diaspora know.
Sorry, Mr. Kelly, sorry for the loudness.
Calm down, everybody. Please calm down.
I know the verse. No, I know the. You know me now.
So calm down now, because we can't be talking and you also talking. Then we'll not go hear each other. Calm down. Again.
He never reached what they call it, whatever name, Adamaton. She always. So you tell me to stop now.
Okay,
Come on.
Sorry, just
because
relax.
you're saying things that are not
no one talks.
Look, are you a medical practitioner or a doctor?
Guys, Dr. Adama,
so why would you say that if this thing is there, that those two lives will not make it? Look, we don't want this China to be flagged. Our faces are all showing, including mine. Look, I don't care what you're saying. I am here to protect the reputation of this platform. Say everything you're saying with facts. And if you want to say that, I'll listen to you. Until that, I don't care who you know. You don't know who I know. So keep your opinion.
Okay, now calm down, guys. Calm down.
KJ, I know I stand where impacts, where smash person head, on the spot of impact, smash person head. I don't know where ambulance they save that kind of life.
Okay, that's you are not listening to me. I said sometimes even when the people are gone, you want to give them dignity. They are human.
No, KJ. Look, I understand that argument.
No, now if you are holding on, you listen to me. Even when there's an impact of fire and all that, and people lose their lives, they still do what they call recovery. Those recovery.
Let's move on now, please.
I was talking about saving of life,
it's
not
12
talking
o'clock
about
here.
Dignity for the dead. It's different, KJ.
It's 12 o'clock midnight here,
if
please.
ambulance not there, it
all
doesn't
right.
make any sense.
Okay. All right.
So, if you say maybe to cover the body,
okay,
not to have just flying up and down. Yeah, I'm not going there. I'm talking about saving of life. That's where I came from. Only that's what I'm talking about. To say there's no need for ambulance to be there at all. I did not say that.
Okay.
I only talk about saving of life, because the only thing that I saw many people think about ambulance be like, oh, if ambulance were there, they would have saved their life. Like, come on, this is so deadly, it's ghastly. Fatal.
Okay.
All right.
So I understand what you're saying. So your argument, so I can move on. Hold on. Your argument is that even not because of the fact that the ambulance was not there, but even the ambulance was there, this thing was most like a helpless situation. Not that you didn't want the ambulance.
Your point, you're saying maybe dignity for the body to cover the body. No, fine. Yes, I'm not saying make it not.
I understand what I said. I'm just trying
that's not my argument.
I'm just.
I'm Adama. Look. I never have best for you one day. Not make it be the first time, and this is early of the year. Please, if you're talking to me, please talk to me with respect. I beg you, where?
Okay, calm down. Let all of us make our mind touch
tell him now,
ground.
make everybody hear him.
Make our mind touch ground. Touch ground.
I don't think I've done this to you ever.
Make your mind touch ground. Okay. Dr. Dama,
whatever.
Your time now. We want to welcome Soli. Soli is here. Soli, okay. Soli, I hope you didn't come with fire. You just calm down. So we don't want more fire on the platform.
No, I didn't come with fire initially.
Okay, all right, just hold on now. Let Adama speak. Adama, you know that you are my sister.
Local P, I just want to tell you with all due respect, greetings to all the panelists. Sorry for interjecting. When you come to a forum where people are discussing an accident scene, please, you don't have to like me. Even if with what you know, don't say anything. The name on this platform. Okay, local P, I'm speaking, please. Please, if you want to keep interrupting me.
Can you mute this guy?
Is it, Adama, if you are just going to hide to make your argument,
for doctor's sake, whatever.
Please, please, host, please.
You stop, please.
Host, please mute this guy. Please mute this guy.
Everybody calm down.
You can't
Local P, calm down.
Excuse me. You can't just stop quiet.
Okay, gentlemen, this is our first show of this year. I don't want it to be rowdy. Let's just
come on now. Have you
all right,
like this
hold on now. Local P. Hold on, guys. Please. Soli, you are going to speak now. Hold on.
Is it because she's a woman?
Soli, hold on now. Soli, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Local P, please, everybody calm down. All right? Okay. Adama, can you make your own this thing input? I would very much love if you just leave Local P out of it.
Okay, this is what I'm not going to mention anybody with name, but the question I want to put while we're having this conversation. Local P, please stay yourself mute and just listen. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but just keep yourself mute.
So you don't want me to interrupt?
Okay, go ahead. You can speak.
What is wrong with this guy?
Okay, so you don't want me to talk, and I'll be talking, and you'll be interrupting me. So you don't know how it is right now.
Okay. At this point, if I cannot control you guys, I will end the program because the program time is already over. It's 3 hours after. We wanted to do 3 hours, but I just said because a lot of people want to have come in and they want to make a comment. So I want everyone to get a chance to make a comment and then also have a roundup so we cannot shut down. Please, can we just respect that and let's go ahead? All right, Adama. Your shots.
This is the disclaimer I want to make. None of us sitting on this panel were present on the day of this accident. Our condolences go out to the family that were impacted by this horrific accidents that happened. Regardless of how we feel about it, we need to respect whatever opinion we are sharing. Let's not paint this scenario like we're part of what happened. I wasn't there, none of us was there, but what this platform represents is based on facts and not based on who you know. Let's just put that disclaimer clear so that whatever we are saying, we will not be held accountable for it. So the Dr. Damage's channel was not present, and it's not about who you know, or you are the present at the accident scene, like some people have portrayed it and said the victims will not make it because you were not there. Neither are you a medical practitioner. So please let us all stay in our lane. With that being said, this is what I want to say. What happened to Anthony Joshua is very, very horrific. And I want to remind every one of us, where is Anthony Joshua today? Anthony Joshua is in the UK getting treatments. Why we sit here in our comfortable home in the diaspora.
He's in Nigeria, Mugu. He's still in Nigeria or there. They talk with you, no, monkey. Yes.
Host, please, can you remove him? Thank you.
This is exactly what I'm saying. And why we wonder why women don't like coming to this platform. Because when people give you a pushback that you don't like, just because you want to speak anyhow, you get worked up.
Adama, sorry about that, please.
But
Please.
Adama, sorry. Looking at him,
Sorry.
you should know that guy has a problem. He has some depression. Looking at him, he doesn't look healthy. I'm sorry, that guy doesn't look healthy.
No. I refuse that statement. Hold on, guys. I'm going to end this program.
I don't think you should be judging him.
Hold on, hold on. Please, Okwara, I don't appreciate that comment. Please.
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Please. I withdraw it. Please, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Listen, guys. Nothing we say here is going to change Nigeria. Let's calm down. Nobody's your enemy here. None of these people here are your enemy. I'm not your enemy. And nothing we're going to say. Look, the person who is living in the country is somewhere enjoying himself. So calm down, please. What we are concerned about, just like Jagun also reiterated what I said, the guilt that this guy is going to carry throughout his lifetime. Anytime he runs into that family, the whole scenario will play back in his head. The children in that family will say, if not for this guy, our brother wouldn't have gone to Nigeria. Are you people thinking about what I'm thinking? He's the only reason why they went there. And they didn't come back the way they went. That should be a concern for anybody. And we're not saying that because Anthony Joshua, who is a world champion, so other people don't matter. We're saying that he's a catalyst for which if we are a nation that think of our citizens, we use as a reason to reform the system, even if it's the highway, even if to create another ambulance service system that can work throughout Nigeria to stand by just in case things like this happen. It's not against any of us here. It's not against our profession. It's not against whether. Let's calm down, please. Calm down. All right. Let's go ahead. Adama, you are still making your comments.
Yes, thank you so much. And I like what you said. Nothing will change. Nothing we say is going to change anything. At the end of the day, the trauma Anthony Joshua is going to deal with after all this is said and done, I only feel sorry for him because regardless, yes, people say he's a man, he should be able to deal with it. At the end of the day, you lost two people that were so dear to your hearts. So can you imagine the nightmare, the healing process for him? He's going to wish he's dead than be alive. He's going to have like so many things. He has to go to a psychological, like, I feel so sorry for him. I don't wish that on anyone. So my heart goes out to him, the family of the loved ones. And with that being said, this is what I want to say. It saddens my heart that we stay here and argue about something that doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, the people that are running the country, if anything happened to their loved ones, they are quick to fly them out of the country. I said this in a show you had on Sunday. Our medical system is messed up. Our medical system is not where it needs to be. You will have in the streets homes that are worth, if you add them, they are worth billions, like a whole lot. But in case of an emergency, if you have a cardiac arrest today, please, that your 400 or half a million naira home, the nearest facility, can they be able to handle your medical emergency? And the answer is no. We don't have, some of our hospitals don't have EKGs, oxygen, the basic things you need. How can you have an accident scene like that, like Jagu said, and that's why we are trending? Not even one ambulance, not even one. You have someone standing up after that much of an impact. You are raising that person, like, it breaks my heart. When we say things like this, let's be careful. Listen, I don't know anybody. The only person I know is Adama. And when it comes to something like this, my prayer is may Nigeria never happen to any one of us. Regardless of how much you have, your wealth, and everything. When it comes to the road of Nigeria, the medical system, it affects each and every one of us. If we're going there on vacation, whatever you're going there for, or you pray that in a case of an emergency, please, those that will be in charge of your medical needs are people who have the qualifications and know what they're doing, and you are transported to the next emergency destination. With Anthony Joshua, we can see clearly he's not there. What, like, this is what shocked me. In an accident scene here in the diaspora, You can't even walk into people were taking videos. Like we don't know. It's like dead body means nothing to us. That's how the video of the two of his best friend has circulated social media because people were recording it. And if I ask this question, those people recording it, do they know how to do CPR? The answer is no. And we're sitting here talking about things like it's normal. We cannot normalize things like it's not normal. This is the 21st century. This is 2026. Let's be realistic. Health is wealth. And wherever you find yourself in life, please, you have to take your health seriously. That's all I have to say. And my heart goes out to the family of his best friend. I mean, everything this guy just went through, he came back for Dirty December, and look at how it ended up. It could have been any one of us. It could have been me. It could have been any one of us here. And I hear people say, oh, in Nigeria, if you have money, you can do anything you want. No, if you have money, the healthcare is not there. I am telling you now that healthcare system is nothing to write home about. Don't say, oh, because I'm in Abuja. If an accident happened to you, where there is no proper medical healthcare facility, you're gone. So it's not about the money or your influence. So if we're mindful of that, we can be able to come together, have a normal debate, and come up with solution instead of arguing with one another about who we know and what we know. And let's move forward. Thank you, KJ. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, thank you, Dr. Adama. Thank you for that contribution. So, for those of us who are not medical people, who are what to do when such thing happen, stay far away. And I don't even appreciate why people should go and be doing video of somebody who has lost their life. Hey, what are you going to do with it? You know. So we are gradually losing our humanity. Actually, in Nigeria, I must say that if we are not careful, we'll lose everything. You know. And here is a very serious issue, and people are even blocking those trying to give help. You know, thanks to the road safety, at least we must give it to them. They got there in less than 5 minutes, and they were there. So they tried their best. I mean, to be on time, but you know, with of course, when you have a wrong tool, there's very little you can do. However, it can be prevented, and like we have said earlier on, you don't park vehicles on the shoulders of road, and if you do that, somebody has to be, you know, signs has to be put. Yes, somebody have said it's overtaking. Road safety says it's wrong overtaking and overspeeding. Whatever it be the case, if we have people monitoring the road, we'll probably not even, especially in this time we say we are celebrating Dirty December in Lagos. I used to think that when it was the time of Woloshenka, the roads were, even Chudoka's time, the roads were saturated with road safety, that you can't even overspeed because they are everywhere. So you just maintain, you know, and to get to where you're going. We need to go back to those times that when those things were being done so that people's life can be preserved. Thank you so much. Soli, your turn. Welcome. Happy New Year. Good to see you again.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We need to watch the way that we talk to women and, you know, treat women in Nigeria. Like a lot of Nigerian men behave very misogynistic and they think it's normal. It's very, and to be honest, from my observation, most Nigerian women are more competent than Nigerian men. Most Nigerian women are. But you suppress them, you oppress them, you don't want to listen to what they have to say. Somebody's there saying gibberish like a child. Very childish behavior. But anyways, let's get back to the topic.
Blame your father. I don't blame my father.
It's okay. You are so, look at how old you are.
Okay, you see, you guys, if you go to leave the topic now, I will just,
you can't even control your emotions. Look at how expressive
leave the guy alone. Leave the guy alone.
If it was a man, I bet you he's not going to be this expressive. It's not
no. Let's not go there.
They only know how to exert their power on someone.
Hello.
KJ, may I interject, please?
I just go ahead. No, let's solely go ahead.
Let me focus on the topic. And when you bring your women to the game,
KJ, may I interject, please, KJ?
They said no.
So, anyways, when I saw the topic, I didn't really understand the topic. Are you saying that some people are trying to defend the lack of proper infrastructure or what? I didn't really understand the topic. If you can explain, please.
Are you want me to explain? Okay, electricity, please go ahead and explain.
No, so I stay on topic. So I stay on topic because me, I have my own opinion. I have my own opinion. My opinion
it's your
is
opinion we're looking for now. You are not looking for the opinion of
okay. My opinion is that even if those guys' lives could not have been saved, it is all about perception. It is all about optics. Most of these Western countries, they are not really that great, but they have good optics. They have good perception. And what they teach them in their universities, that perception is power. It doesn't really have to be about money. That's why our politicians do eye service, because perception is power. Look at this case. It's an international case. It has been even on pages that is about hip hop, they've posted it everywhere. What image did he give Nigeria? Incompetence. You have lost a whole industry of tourism just because of that one event. You see, Anthony Joshua did the average thing most Nigerians would do. It no concern me. I just better pass my neighbor. He has the access to influential people in government. I bet you, like every average Nigerian, he thought this would never happen to me. Every Nigerian always thinks it will never happen to me. That is why they don't care. I better pass my neighbor. As long as I better pass my neighbor, it's okay. This thing is going to haunt him forever because he's always going to be remember that he's the one that brought them. He brought them to their own doom. And he had access to so many politicians, but never spoke on what the average man is going through. When I went to Nigeria in 2013, I didn't go flying in private cars. I took normal bus. I took keke. You are on this platform, you are just realizing that Nigerians have lost their humanity. I saw a human leg at the bus stop and people were passing by like it was normal. That is when I understood the situation that we are in. It didn't alarm anybody. It didn't shock anybody. A whole human leg, fresh, at the bus stop. People were just passing by. People were just passing by. That was 2013. Oh, 2013. There are bodies all over Lagos now, full-blown bodies. It is normal. When people are coming down for 30 December, that is what they are saying. So somebody is saying, even if there was ambulance, this thing, let's get at least be ambulance. At least. What you are doing, nobody hired you to be a minister of information. It is because you are jobless that you are doing minister of information for free. That is the only reason. What you are doing is you are indirectly defending the government. Because your statement, that statement that you are making, because everything is politics, that statement that you are making is absolving the government of responsibility. That is what you are doing. Who does that benefit? Does it benefit the average man like you? No, it does not. You're actually putting yourself in more danger because you cannot keep your mouth closed. Loose lips sink ship. And there is nobody that sinks ship more than a Nigerian person that thinks that he wants to give out information. At the detriment of his own life, you indirectly be defending Nigerian government and you will not be able to think through it just because he wants to talk and say something. When they lifted that guy, if that guy had a stretcher, do you know that he had fracture? That guy weighs almost over 200 kilos. He had an accident and you made him lift his own over 200 kilos with bones. He had fracture. Even if he says that he wants to fight again, what if that is a terminal issue that he can never recover from? He had internal bleeding. If they carried that guy on a stretcher, do you think that you would have had that fracture? It probably most likely would have been prevented. So most likely, the infrastructure in Nigeria, even if he says he wants to continue his career, they've destroyed his career. Nigeria has happened to him. And when people say, I hope Nigeria will not happen to me, Nigeria will happen to all of us. One way or the other. It may not be through buying, it may be through papers, it may be through education, it may be through feeding, it may be through finance. Nigeria will happen to you. There's nobody that escapes it. Even our politicians, Nigeria happened to them. Like, are they not buying in different hospitals up and down? Immediately Buhari left, Ikpa. Nigeria happens to every single one of us, but we still believe that. And this is the most annoying part. Some people say if you pray hard enough, Nigeria will not happen to you. You cannot pray away bad infrastructure. You can't. You can't. Like, what kind of madness is this? So, me, I don't even do all this. It is easier to trust somebody in my tribe. F that shit, man. If you are Igbo, you are Hausa, we are thinking alike. We need to organize. That's why I respect these foundational Black Americans. They have a history of organizing together. They have a history of, look at when they didn't want them to sit down at the front of the bus. These people said they would rather walk. Even if the journey is 3 hours, how many Nigerians would do that? How many Nigerians are ready to not buy Dangote products again so that they will ban the trucks on this road so that it will save all our lives? We don't know how to organize, which is very sad. So we are going to keep on suffering, and Nigeria will keep on happening to all of us until we can organize. I'd rather side with the FBA. You cannot be telling me to keep Nigerian secrets. I should not tell them the things that are affecting us. Who is that benefiting? I will be collecting the shame of politicians, and politicians will be benefiting. If any FBA asks me about Nigeria, I will tell them the truth. All the things that you're always trying to hide from them, that you're always trying to act like you're better than them, they can organize to get what they want. If they say they want to get reparations in the next 2 years, if they actually want to do it, they will do it. Just okay. They are not really serious about it. When have Nigerians ever organized to do anything for our benefit? We have no history of organizing. None. So the suffering continues. If continue to bully your gateman,
all right, thank you so much.
Continue to bully your ass girl because it makes you feel like you have power. Continue to bully women because it makes you feel like you have power. You are just a kid in an
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. I want to jump electricity because you have the last comment. Let me go to Jefferson, and after Jefferson, I'll go to Ife. And then
I would like to, log off, please. Give me 2 minutes.
Okay, Jefferson, hold on. Let Okpara make this so I can log off.
Yeah.
I have people backstage that I want to bring up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Accident happens everywhere. Whether you are in America or you are in UK or Germany, where I live. But the issue is the response. How do you respond to accident? I've said it before. A house got burnt or still burning in Balogu. It started on 24th of December. As we speak, it is still burning.
I tell you.
People were calling, help us, help us. There was no help. The paramedics didn't come. There was no ambulance. The fire service that came there, they were demanding money before they could, put the fire off. The relatives,
30 million.
The relatives are there begging them, please bring water. Please, even the victims, before their batteries could run down. This is life. I am not exaggerating. Before their batteries could go down, they were begging. The man was saying, please, a falling block is blocking the way. Can you even call the malams, the aboki, to help drag out the block so that we can escape? This is life. This happened in Lagos. There was no response, nothing. Somebody mentioned something yesterday in Switzerland. Of course, but we saw the response. Even as we speak, Switzerland is mourning. Nothing is going there. So what I'm trying to say that accident happens everywhere, but the response, the government response is what we're talking about here. And finally, the governor of Lagos State only today visited the burning point, the accident, saying after 1 week. And this is Nigeria we're talking about. This is life. This young man is saying about the trailer. There's a company very close to that place. That is even contradicting what we're talking about here. That makes the whole thing worse. If there is a company very close to the accident scene, that trailer shouldn't have parked on any hard shoulder. The company is supposed to have a place where they can their customer can park their vehicles. What are we talking about? We live in Western world where things are happening, and we're here trying to defend something that is not defensible. It is very appalling. And I'm sorry for what I said before. I will draw my comment. I'm sorry about this, but I think I was carried away. Thank you, and God bless you from here.
Thank you so much, Mazi Okbara. Thank you for your contribution. And sometimes when we argue, we should also remember that we are among the committee of nations, where other, these same things happen in other nations. Is it the way it's handled? We should leave that question for all of us. Jefferson.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy New Year to every one of us here. So, of course, we're all, I have to say this, that Nigeria is a reactive nation. For most of us who are of a technical background, we have so much, there's a pathway to handle, an ecosystem. And what they call in some cases, they call it management of change. And what I mean by that, we can resolve faults reactively. You can do what they call preventive maintenance, condition-based, predictive. This is just on the technical side of things. Foreseeing what might happen and how to go about it. I can categorically say that Nigeria falls under the category of being a reactive nation, based on what I just said. Nation building takes a lot. If for you to have a nation, we have to be sincere about what we stand for as a people. I'm also like to you, the thing that happened to AJ, it was very devastating. No sane human being will be happy to see that happening. And of course, there are a lot of controversies. They said, about it, which I don't want to actually bring that to this platform. Our response system, has it really helped? No. This man that spoke before he left, he just tells you the kind of nation we are. I don't know if you have been following up with things. This is not the first time fire incidents have been happening. Every time. Okay, I want to even stress on that partially. For only God knows how long. In Lagos is the highest populated state in the country. Every time we have fire incidents happening in the market, it was Balogun, then towards the new year, it was Ikotu, right? And of course, when these things happen, you see blame games. And with due respect to our Yoruba brothers, some will come out and say, oh, it serves the Igbo brothers right. Very soon you have to leave. Those are the kind of commentaries you see on the social media. And then you ask yourself, is this how to build a country?
You're right.
No, is this how to build a country? We're highly divisive. We're talking of nation building. How can you build a nation when we cannot agree on common values? We can't agree on common values. We can't be human first. KJ was right. We are not humans. We are losing our humanity. Everything is all about me doing phone, doing selfie. Any small thing we want to make content without using our brain. There are some cases where, okay, they need to capture one or two events. We don't use our brain. Every small thing is content. Where is the humanity? If there is an emergency, go and save the life first. Even in abroad here, there are some people, they don't need to make content of everything. When they see someone, you see careless people that are crossing the streets. When they want to enter the road, either a man or a woman come and save the person out of the road. Or is it a situation whereby a careless mother left the child in a high rise, and the baby fell from maybe 20 or 30-story building?
Sorry. Just if there was no video of that, how did you see it?
No, calm down. Let me speak on something.
Okay, calm down.
Now, because the person had a conscience, it's none of it. Is his baby? He could have just said, "Oh, this not concern me." You just allow the baby to fall. But the guy had a conscience and he caught that baby. But yet, because of the twist of humanity, the ungrateful mother took that guy to court, sue him, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of that guy till tomorrow. If I'm the one, I'd rather save life and let me even go to jail for it. I'd rather do that because I believe that is the right thing to do. We have to be human first. We know there are a lot of things, a lot of trauma has happened. And I will correct one thing, is it Soji or Soli, right? Let us know one thing, that Nigeria has happened to everybody, whether we like it or not. Nigeria is happening and it's still happening to all of us in diverse ways. Whether we like it or not, Nigeria is still happening to us as we speak.
Okay.
No, sorry, I'll soon finish. Because the only an insane person that we see in also concerned, okay, majority of us have left the country to greener pastures. Does it change anything? Even in the so-called developed society, is everything perfect? But again, what makes us different is the fact that we have a brain to be able to think, to learn a different experience and create a good experience that works for us. Considering us being humans. As far as we have that divisive nature and we are religious or divisive nature, because as I speak to you, that is still running in the blood of most Nigerians in our current situation, and we don't seem to see anything wrong with it. So, in my conclusion, emergency situation needs to be addressed critically. All the NEMA, the FRS, the whatever, it needs to be highly addressed. Because now, in January, everybody's bothered about how they will take taxes. But last I checked, when you collect money from your citizens, you have to give back to those citizens and let's know what they are doing. If there's no
Jefferson, you need to round up.
I think as a people, we need to ask questions and address this thing as a nation.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. KJ, can I ask a question? Jefferson just made a point that kind of caught my attention, if you don't mind. And this is to you, Mr. KJ. The fire that he referenced, those 3 siblings or 2 that were trapped in that fire, why were they trapped and why couldn't they come out?
They
the
were
one that
trapped
was
because,
just announced that they all passed away.
yeah, they couldn't come out because it was a high rise and there was a wall that had collapsed and stopping them from being able to exit. And the fire service couldn't get to them or didn't try to get to them. And the government didn't do anything. I mean, there was a total failure on all sides. They are not the only ones. There were other people who were also in that building that suffered the same fate. That's why but this one, the only reason why they are more talked about because there are 3 family members that were in that place until their battery ran out and they didn't make it.
Prophet, sorry. KJ, can I ask you a question? You say it's a high rise. How many floors would you know?
Nah, no, ask me that kind of question.
Even if Tony now for you, even if not 3 or 4,
it's a high rise. One story building in Nigeria is a high rise.
Because what we call high rise here, no.
Technically speaking.
Yes,
technically speaking. Wait now. Wait.
It's less than 25-story building.
It has an elevator. So it has an elevator.
They say
high rise. Technically speaking, any building that is more than 5 floors is regarded as a high-rise building. That's why I asked you that question. And if it is a high-rise building, then there are laws regulating how many exits you must have in that building. That's why I asked you that question.
Okay, now, so in this case now, when that building was built, which was sometimes many years ago,
how many times do we review? Sorry, KJ. How many times are we reviewing those things? Because last I checked, that Balogun building, still using old architecture, that old data, old standard. Meanwhile, most of all these buildings ought to be reviewed. And I mean, innovations need to be done, but for most of us,
as in, because of the structure, it will be demolished and rebuilt.
Exactly.
So do we know if this building? I'm just asking because I heard about it and I don't want to speak, and that's why I asked the question. Is there an elevator when you say high rise? Is there an elevator in those buildings?
We don't know whether there's an there could be an elevator,
Adama,
but
even if you have elevators, when there's a fire emergency, you don't
You
use
use the
elevators.
staircase. Yes, you use the nearest exit area. So, like he said,
listen. Let me say the bit that I know. When they built the first caught fire, it was there from one point. So why the people were not evacuated at that time is what I still don't understand. Because the building didn't just engulf in fire. It started from a small portion, which people were pointing out from the street. At least I saw that video. And I thought when it started, I said, okay, they're going to be able to put it out. But they didn't put it out until all the calamity was
for HSC issue.
Let's not divert. We're diverting now.
Sorry, KJ. When there's an emergency issue, when like HSC or HSC stories, whatever, there are signals, that directs you to maybe like muster points in case there's any emergency. They will tell you emergency exits. This is not an ordinary exit, but when it comes to like emergency, there is what you call signage that points you to a point where you call emergency exits. There's also signages that will point you to muster point where you can gather or whatever. So in
what
Balogun,
do you mean muster points?
No worry. Sorry, check Google it. Just Google muster point.
Please,
don't worry, Adama. That's not your area.
Google them now. Come, hello, stop.
Muster point is a point of gathering.
Yes. Muster point is where people gather, and then take a head count to see whether there's somebody missing or whatever.
So, as I was saying, in Balogu's case, I know, like our Nigerianness, so building has been there for so years, Nobody can go there and take what's it called, integrity test to see if that building can still last whatever how many years or it has expired to
support diaspora. Let me add something very critical. For instance, myself, you are technical. You are technical.
Why not hate me for this channel? Let me talk.
If you know alarm, I gave you time to speak. Alarm.
No, sorry. They hate me. They hate me for this channel, KJ, and I blame it to you. KJ, I blame it to you because you know they defend me.
Please.
The first time I saw Adama talk, you talk anywhere for you. You're quiet. You don't give me time to talk. I quiet. No, wala. God, continue.
No, Jefferson, allow Lokopi to talk. Allow him to talk. No, allow him to talk. Or Lokopi talk. Now you get it.
No, make Jefferson talk now. No, make Jefferson talk.
No, you talk. Talk your talk. No, talk.
Okay. What I'm saying is simple. Look, see, truth be said, Nigeria has its weakness. Let's be fair. His stupidity, his foolishness, all manner of whatever Nigeria. But sometimes, I'll tell you this, there are times where we know negligence from humans, just the human negligence takes place, and you're not going to blame government for them. I know government is supposed to do this and do that, do whatever. But many times it's human inefficiency that causes negligence and let me not say intelligence, lack of education about particular stuff, because most Nigerians, we too be like, you think I too know. And the warriors where I too know. No worry, because you think you are smart. But not only because you're not smart, you think because you have some degree of education, I too know. But sometimes you are not even patient enough to go there, find out, do assessment and find your stuff. You understand? What I'm saying that the Balogun we just talked about is easy. It collapsed, like Tony, like you said, after Society Stories is regarded as high rise. There, they don't have emergency exit, like exit from like the 5th floor, no emergency exit. They only have one staircase that can take you from top to bottom, no elevator or whatever. You get my point? I've gone to Balogun, I've shopped several shops. I know how that place look like. In fact, this place you're talking about is, I think 2 years ago, one school, about two-story building, whatever, school, whatever, collapsed in that say. I don't know, maybe it may not be Dumotasha or blah, but Balogun, whatever, but it happens. The same scenario happens. That is the Nigerianness that we don't like. You understand? But in this case, the building collapsed and emergency happens. The one that were saying that they were asking for money, trust me, KJ, I not believe. Trust me, because
Okay, my issue now that you guys are taking us away from where we are going. That's why I didn't want to get there. We wanted to just discuss about AJ and the incident that happened there.
Okay.
I know it's about fire, but this is totally different. So can we stop where we are now?
Let me conclude this. Maybe I sign out because we are signing out.
On Saturday, we're going to have a random discussion of all this. This program is just to address the issue that happened on Nigerian roads, and can we just from
something
there?
Real quick. Okay, let me
with AJ issue.
Sorry,
AJ issue.
So, like what we are saying now, at the end of the day, if you look very, very critically now, only few Nigerians who are privileged to be in technical space know about HSC or a fire emergency. That's emergency response ecosystem. That's only few. So my question is, just like you said, it's a mentality issue. Unfortunately, there is no conscious effort to encourage more Nigerians, especially through NEMA, through the FRS, through the other agencies, and of course through the public relations in the country, to consistently make sure that we have this safety consciousness indoctrinated in us, because that's what other same nations do. You understand? That's what they do. The public affairs unit relations is not there for fancy. It's not there for fancy. So I feel that it is high time that the Nigerian space needs to actually look into incorporating all these key these safety indexes into what we do as a nation. That is highly needs to be done, because the same thing cannot keep on happening all the time, and it will be affecting us as a people. So let me just stop there for now, Sha. I just wanted to pass that critical information.
All right, thank you so much. At this point, I know that more people want to discuss. I'll just briefly hand over the control to electricity to carry on while I deal with certain issues here. Yes, so one man is here if he's speaking, and then after that is one man. Electricity, please take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. Yeah. Who is speaking next? If it, the floor is yours. Thank you.
No, you can go ahead, electricity. Hi.
So I'll go then.
Go ahead, Roman tomorrow.
All right, thank you. I only came in to drop a very brief. Good day to everybody. Pardon me. Good day to everybody, especially your audience and all that. I only came in to drop a little comment, because I've been listening in the background, and typically with this sort of conversations is woe is me. You know, Nigeria happened to you, this, that, and the other, and all the usual hit songs that you hear with this sort of incidents. So I'm not sure about the Nigerian happened to him. Let's go with what we do know. We've seen the carcass of that vehicle. It was totally wrecked. So that tells you the level of impact that took place. So we've seen that. So the authorities told us that vehicle was overspeeding. But if you look at the impact that we saw from the carcass of that vehicle, it would have been traveling at least 4, maybe 5, maybe more times the recommended speed. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is there are two ways of going ahead of the vehicle ahead of you. There is overtaking, which is to go through the faster lane and then end up in front of the vehicle ahead of you. And then there is undertaking, which is to go through what is not formally legal, which is exactly what happened. This guy actually went under, he tried to overtake through a hard shoulder, and it came up against a stagnant vehicle. And that was where the impact was. So which of those things are preventable by the government? The government can control the speed, so you would say that, but maybe the driver and the passenger should also take equal responsibility, especially somebody like Anthony Joshua. you'd expect him to be able to control that space a lot better. So there's that. And then that driver has actually been arrested, the driver of that vehicle. So there's a lot of that. And then what do we know? The emergency services in terms of the roads, is it road marshals or whatever? They were there within 5 minutes. We saw them aiding Anthony Joshua into their vehicle. So there was some form of response, but they were not equipped for the emergency need of that situation. So we know that as well. So there are a lot of pockets of things that we do know. And the culpability, the responsibility, it lies especially and essentially on that vehicle. Because they were excessively speeding, they were overtaken in the wrong lane, which is the hard shoulder, and then they came up of course, and the hard shoulder is there for a reason, by the way. It's for vehicles that can no longer proceed. So vehicles will be, yes. So vehicles will be on the hard shoulder, so there's no. So I know we want to leverage this as yet another weapon of woe is me and Nigeria happened to you and Tinubu. But there has to be some form of personal responsibility, culpability in terms of the vehicle and the occupants of it. But the overarching thing is a sorrowful thing. And like Asoli was saying there, it doesn't enhance the image of the country. That's the overarch. But I don't think there's sufficient enough for you to do your Tinubu rounds. But let me drop that and then drop that. Now I'm listening about thank you, Electricity.
One man. You are very funny with your statement.
No, man, now Connie guy.
You started by saying maybe. You started by saying maybe, and then you turned around to be speaking with certainty. You just contradicted yourself. And there's nobody who is talking about Tinubu or no Tinubu. So nobody mentioned Tinubu here. So don't come here and be spewing that political this thing that you are known for. That's not what we're talking about. We don't know exactly what happened. You can only speculate. How can it be within 3 minutes that road safety arrived there and they were able to investigate and know exactly what happened? Where is that done?
No, but Mr. Tony,
thank you very much. Can you hold on, Lokopi, please? Lokopi, can you hold on, please? If you are ready to speak. Are you ready to speak?
She will mute herself. She mutes.
Can you hear me?
Mic and mute a speaker.
Are you ready to speak?
I hear you.
Yeah, you are muted. You're muted. Thank you.
I said, go ahead. I mean, we're literally saying the same thing over and over again. Go ahead and speak.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Adama, can you do me a favor? Could you please bring the broadcast to an end? Thank you very much for your time being here. Can you please end the broadcast for me? Thank you. Adama, are you there? Adama, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, what did you say?
Can you please, the broadcast has come to an end. Can you please bring it to me?